Oh, it's really happening. We're live. This is real. You can have your phone. I don't care. Like it doesn't bother me. We'll give it a few minutes because people are probably just getting a notification now to that we're going live. And plus the audio, Jose's already on. Damn, this fast. We're gonna give it just a little bit. We can edit this whole thing out. The audio, the live is gonna be. This is all gonna be on the live video. That's why I wanted to do it live, is because I didn't want to edit this. I don't think this stuff should be edited. I like it more authentic. Mm-hmm. Like, if I say something that I shouldn't have said, it's like, well, now it's on there. It's like, that's what I was really thinking at the time. Or if you say something like Mexicans is a superior race, it's like, holy shit, like, well, now I have fucking proof. No.
So this is blackmail? Are you recording blackmail for me?
It might be. If I decide to, like, rise up or something with my fellow whites.
Well, I've said before that I can never run for political office because the things that people are find on me.
Yeah, they're gonna look at this and be like, well, Sean's watching, so that's what matters.
Sure.
Okay. Well, we could probably just go live with this. All right, so I usually have Travis do this really cool, like, opening music thing, but since I don't have that, I'm just going to say, well, we're live, and I have my guest, Gaby. She is a woman, and she's Mexican, so I get diversity points for that. My first female guest and a minority this isn't really a real question, but are Mexicans, well, wait, first, do you want to be called Mexican or Latina?
I kind of like Latina more, but I mean, whatever works for you, I guess.
Okay, that's actually a genuine question I have. I have it on the notes.
Oh, yeah, Latina. I prefer Latina because Latina is such a broad spectrum. I mean, if you're Mexican, you're from Mexico. But I don't just have, Mexico blood in me. I have Spaniard blood and a whole bunch of other countries that way. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. No, that is neat. I always I want to ask where people are from that I know that aren't from the States, but it's like you don't know what's offensive these days. And I could ask someone totally different and be like, what the fuck did you just say? And so so you're from Mexico and Spain, and like you can trace your lineage to other parts of the world and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I was born in Dallas, so all this
really?
From my ancestors. Yeah, Dallas.
When did you get to Wisconsin?
My sister had a lot of health problems that were pretty much coming from the kind of weather that was down in Texas. It's very dry heat. It's very just hot. Yeah. So my mom was like, all right, we can't do this anymore. Let's move somewhere really, really cold, but where she could breathe, and which was awesome. Her health problems pretty much went away when we got up.
Good.
So that was pretty good.
Was that Jenny?
Yeah.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't have said that.
No, I thought. Well, Facebook is gonna see this. Like, people on Facebook are gonna see this, but like I was gonna put this on YouTube, but I can't figure it out yet. So this is gonna stay safely on Facebook. So no matter what, people who know you are just gonna see it. So
gotcha. Yeah, that works.
I'd rather entertain people I know first than the world. So, but I didn't know Jenny had health problems. That's good that she got better. Dude, if you wanted fucking cold, you really picked the. I don't know of a colder state. I don't.
Literally a tundra up here.
Yeah.
Your face hurts when you walk outside. There's that
Jesus,
meme. Why do I live where the weather hurts my face?
Oh my god, I heard a couple of girls saying that last year outside the bar, and I yelled, "Shut the fuck up! You're stealing that from Facebook." Oh, and if you have a problem with it, fucking move.
And she did. She now lives in California.
Jenny does, yeah.
Yes.
Dude, I remember when she got out there, like the second week she was there, she met Katy Perry or some shit.
Yeah, she's met like a whole list of famous people that I didn't know about. She's like, oh, I met Gaby blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't know who that is, but yay.
Yeah, like
good for you.
I've seen some of her posts, like she's meeting YouTube stars and actual famous people. It's like
Tyler Oakley, which my brother's been obsessed with since we were, yay high.
Really?
Yeah, he met him at a grocery store. I was like, what? Like, we're never going to see someone like that at all.
Oh, God, no. I guess 50 Cent was in some prairie for like 20 minutes, and he like stopped at a gas station. Well, thanks for joining, everybody. I appreciate it, and thanks, Rob, for actually watching. In the comments, can anybody tell me how we sound? I've had a lot of problems with the mics lately, and just let me know how we sound. I was in Vegas for 2 weeks a couple of years ago, and the people that we were living or just staying with, she was like, yeah, I was shopping the other day, and there's a really tall guy in front of me, and I accidentally stepped on a shoe, and he turned around, it was Nicolas Cage.
What?
Like, it's Vegas, I understand. That's more. Dude, I didn't see anybody famous. I went into Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, and I didn't fucking see him. And then he did a live video like 3 days later. We were still like in Utah. We drove to Vegas from Utah. We stayed in Utah. And then he did a live video at his restaurant that we were just at. I was so pissed. I wanted to see him. I wanted to get him to swear at me.
Yeah.
Fuck that. It was like a 5-hour drive. That's my dream, yeah.
To get yelled at by Gordon Ramsay.
I sound very vulgar. Good. Good. Okay, so now that we've got some viewers, I do want to take a second to talk about an upcoming event that's on Facebook that got posted to Facebook. I'm not being paid in any way, shape, or form to say this. I don't get paid at all for this, and that's good because I don't want to get paid for this. I want to do this for fun. But there's an event going on January 26th. It's called Kedzie and Wolfbiter Base Benefit, and it's on Friday, January 26th from 9 to 2 a.m. At Slim and Chubby's here in Fond du Lac. If you're not familiar with that, it's a bar on Main Street. It's one of the more popular bars now. It's going to be in memory of Will Samp, and it's going to be it's going to be $5 the door. Excuse me. It's going to be going. All proceeds are going to be going to benefit Will's family and his girlfriend Danny, who was severely injured. I'm just reading about the Facebook, so I don't flub this. He was severely injured in the accident. We'll be celebrating Will's memory, and it's going to be, it says, 4 Midwest DJs doing their best shows for the base benefit. All proceeds of the event will go to the Sam family and hospital bills for Danny. Those who can't attend the event are encouraged to make a donation to the cause. 100% will go to, like I said, Will's family and Danny for her hospital bills. There is also the event is on Facebook. If you can find it, it's just called Just Announced. It's called Just Announced Kedzie and Wolfbiter Base Benefit. There is a link for PayPal to donate. It's a $5 cover to get in, 21 and only, obviously. Shot Girl specials and production provided by Mid Coast Entertainment, MKE. Someone's from Milwaukee. The artists going to be there are Kedzie. Gotta check them out on SoundCloud. Wolfbiter, Coffin Crew. I'm probably butchering this really bad, but they're also on SoundCloud. They're also from Milwaukee. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that one. There's one more, and then there's CNTRLILA, I think it is, from Fond du Lac, and a personal friend of mine. His name is Jake Roms, and his DJ name is Roms. He is actually going to be on the podcast in a week or so, the day after the party. I want to get him on before to promote the party and his music, but he wanted to do it the day after, so I wanted to have somebody on, so I appreciate him making time for that. He is also on SoundCloud. All of them are on SoundCloud. So be sure to check those guys out. And again, the event is going to be on January 26th at Slim and Chubby's in Fond du Lac from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Make sure you check them out. Check that out. And if you can't, go check out the PayPal. Maybe make a small donation. Anything helps. And if you can't donate, maybe spread the word. Maybe if you hear your friends talking about how there's nothing to do some night, you can be like, hey, there's something going on in Fond du Lac. Go check out some local music and some bands from other parts of the state coming together for something really neat. So yeah, just figured I'd plug that really quick. All right. Okay. So I have notes, and I've already covered 2 of them out of the 6.
Latina, Mexican.
Yep. And I wanted to plug the benefit. So anyways, thanks for coming on here and doing this. We have a decent amount of viewers. That is wrong. That is always wrong. We got like 5 or 6 people watching us right now, I think. We might have more even. It's usually way more after the fact. Like once we publish it, it'll get plenty of views. I really hope we sound okay. People are saying, Sean says I should get paid. Someday, if I get sponsorship, but who the fuck is going to sponsor me? Somebody, really the best example I can think of is somebody I listen to. I'm not going to say who or who sponsored them, but one of the worst sponsorship deals ever. They're like, we're going to give you $5,000 to just say blank.com. But it was a dating website. Oh. And he goes, say anything you want, just say it for like 5 seconds. He goes, all right, sure. So it comes time to do the sponsorship, and he goes, blank.com. Yeah, everybody wants to fuck. Join blank.com. And then
I feel like it might have worked though. I mean, that's not wrong.
Well, it didn't work because the people called them up like 20 minutes later and they're like, dude, don't ever fucking say our name again. So I was like, oh, it was like they have to be okay with what we're putting out. It's like some dude in his like nerd room is gonna be talking to like people that nobody knows in a small town. It's like, we're not gonna give this prick money.
Yeah, yeah, maybe 50 Cent will come by again and maybe he can grab him for 20 minutes.
Oh my god.
Or Nicolas Cage. I'll have to try Vegas.
50, show me your bullet holes. I know you got 9 of them. He does. You know that?
No, I didn't know that.
That's why he's famous. Well, he's famous for being a rapper, and he's not a bad rapper. I used to be in them when I was like 14. He got shot like 9 times one night. He was running from something like gang violence. He was in a gang before he became a rapper, and he got shot like 9 fucking times, including one through the mouth. And I don't know if it's true, but like when they were removing the bullet fragments, they left the one in his mouth, in his tongue, so you still can feel the bullet fragment in there. Because he says it adds to the gangster of the songs.
Honestly, I can't name one song by him. I can't.
He's got a lot of dirty songs. Like when I was like 14, I was listening to his CD called like The Massacre or something. There's one called Candy Shop. It's really dirty. It's dirty shit.
Yeah, I'll take you to the candy shop.
Shop.
That one? Okay, all right. I do know that one. Oh, hey, it's really dirty.
Show the camera that we're having fun.
Oh.
Cheers.
Mom, it's juice. Sorry.
Oh. Don't worry, you're not driving for a little bit.
Also true.
Yeah. Gaby looks bored
Just Smash talking a lot.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Well, he had a lot to say first.
I'm done.
I'm sure we're going to get to the dirty questions.
Don't worry.
Yeah. He did ask me if I wanted to be a Latina or Mexican, and we went through that.
Yeah, you miss me being racist,
yeah.
Travis. So.
You just tuned in, Travis. Come on.
That's why he has a weird voice. Well, no shit, I have a weird voice. It is weird. I've listened to it. I know what I sound like. But yeah, that's what happens when you do a podcast with me. You get free booze.
Yes.
This is, what is this?
This is White Zinfandel. White Zin. Yeah.
White Zinfandel? Mm-hmm. Okay, I have heard of that. Mm-hmm. In a couple of different rap songs. But yeah, come on the podcast and you get to drink for free. There you go. I have also my soda. I can't go without my soda. And my Pop-Tart.
Your Mountain Dew Wildfire? Oh, man.
Yeah, no one drinks soda. I'm like 27 and I still drink soda because I'm fucking child. All right, let's get into the real shit. Trump just called Norway a shithole. How does that make you feel?
You know,
go.
You know, the way I feel about Trump is I love him. I love Trump. I do.
Shut up.
I adore every time I go onto my newsfeed and I see that he's said some other sexist, you know, homophobic, racist thing, because it really weeds out your friends list and it makes it really easy to see who's actually racist. You know, and I didn't know half the people in my life were racist until all of a sudden Trump came out. And everyone's a Republican. They're like, oh, Trump just said this and it's hilarious. And haha, he's building a wall, going to keep the Mexicans out. And I'm just like, what? Like, are you okay saying this to me? Do you understand that you're being racist towards me? And I mean, I'm not the kind of person who's like, oh, I'm triggered. You know, I'm done. I'm not talking to you ever again. But so I usually entertain it. I'm like, oh, yeah, those damn Mexicans, huh? You know? You probably really hate their tacos and their ladies with their, you know, Latina whateverness. So I usually entertain, you know, their ideals and whatnot. I'm like, you know, what do you really like about Trump? And I work in a mainly Republican office. So I think it's, oh, God, all white male Republicans, pretty much. So I hear a lot of this. I hear a lot of the whole, you know, he's building a wall and it's going to be so awesome. And, you know, I would literally look at them and I just kind of stare at them and try to give them the stare down for a little bit, waiting for them to realize, waiting for them to click, like, oh, she's brown. Oh, she's Latina. Like, maybe I shouldn't be saying this. But here's my favorite thing that they do. They go, oh, but I'm talking about those Mexicans. Like,
not you.
I'm talking about those women. You can grab them by the, And I'm like, women, Latina, like right here, guys. Really? So I love that he's come out and brought so many people, you know, out of their racist closets, because it kind of brings forth everything that I've always had in my head, that, you know, maybe these people are racist. You don't know, you know, who's being racist towards you, who's just kind of trying to be funny, maybe. So I love that we have this whole Trump culture now that has exposed all that, because people are kind of starting to feel a bit guiltier, I hope, realizing that it's not okay to be racist and that this is a very diverse country. And like it or not, Mexicans are here to stay and Latinos are here to stay. So I love it. I love that he's come out and done this to our country, because now we see it for what it really is. And I hope we can move forward from here. You know, but maybe that's just wishful thinking at this point.
Wow. Well, that's not shocking to me how you feel, because like that's how you should feel about it. My dad is a longtime Republican, and I remember before the election I was talking with him about it, and I told him, I said, listen, I know you might be disappointed. I voted in 2 elections before this one, both Republican. But
all right, no, I didn't.
You know you can be Republican and not hate other races.
You know, I didn't. That actually is news to me. No.
Well, not a lot of people. Not a lot of people. I don't talk about politics because I think it's a fucking waste of time. But it's such a hot button topic that I had to bring it up. But to me, politics was always like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna change by fucking complaining? You're not. You won't. And let's say you start a revolution and start marching and shit. The last time a guy started a revolution, like Dr. King or any of those other people, they got fucking killed. They will kill you. They will murder you. They don't give a fuck. Sadly. Bernie? Yeah. No, he. Excuse me. I got like.
Drink your Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have to alternate between soda and wine. It's a game. You just gotta learn how to play. He's talking to me. Because I did not vote in this election, and I told my dad. I said, "Listen, Dad, I'm really sorry, but like I don't think I'm gonna vote." He goes, "Normally I'd be mad, because he's a very strong advocate of democracy and like exercise your right. These people died for you." He says, "You're not gonna vote for Hillary because of what she's done. You shouldn't vote for Trump because what he's doing. Hillary's got a bad past. They're like the new Kennedys. There's so much shady shit going on. And then with Trump, he's a nut. He's a fucking nut. He's a nutcase. And he's such a bad representative of like the conservative culture. And then Bernie, I never liked Bernie. I don't fucking care. I'll say it's my opinion.
Yeah, no, it is. Please elaborate.
Like,
I would love to know.
He
more.
demonizes money. He condemns people that have money. I don't want a non-worker in the White House. I believe that with my white privilege, I can. I believe white privilege exists, but I believe firmly that if you work your ass off in this country, some have to do it more than others. Some have to work harder. You have to go into the workplace every day, Gabby, and hear that bullshit every fucking day. And I cannot imagine how much that must suck. Like how you just came out and told me how you felt about how they talk like that. But you still take care of your kids. Kid, you have one, right? Two?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. You just had a kid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Cedric Maverick.
Cedric and Maverick.
Yes.
Okay. Harry Potter is on this list. So as soon as we tackle the real issues, we'll get to the fun stuff. I think if you bust your ass, some more than have to do it more than others.
Yes.
And that is being recognized. I feel you can prosper in America. You can prosper in other countries. And it's just going to be different. Like the whole Norway thing. Did you see the backlash on that? I see a lot of people, including some of my friends, are posting, oh, Norway's a shithole country. And they have like this long list.
Yeah, the comparison of the U.S. and Norway.
Yeah, and it's all like red X's on America. It's like, why would anyone want to leave America? It's like, if you think you can prosper somebody anywhere else, by all means.
Go.
I'm not saying get the fuck out. I'm saying if you think you can do it, go do it. Because it looks really appealing. But you gotta move. Do you know how hard moving down the fucking street is? I hate moving.
Oh yeah.
We're not leaving this apartment for at least 3 years, Hannah said, because moving sucks. But like, if you think for a second that you can do it in Norway better, try it out. See if you can. But I don't know the specifics of what he did, but that's the president. That's kind of shameful to say that.
I feel like we should just close his Twitter account. And you know, maybe past presidents have thought worse things. Maybe they've said worse things, but they weren't being, you know, held under a microscope because Trump has said, you know, bad things in the past. As you know, his role in Hollywood, you know, he's had interviews with other people before. So we have this president who has already given his opinion before he was a president. He's already given his opinion on certain things. So it's almost like people want to get all these dirty details out of him. So he's, you know, put under this microscope where people are like, oh, he said this, and now he's got a Twitter account. So it just makes everything 1,000 times worse. You know?
Do you feel bad for him?
I almost do. I almost feel like he wanted to become president just to say he did it. No, that's what my saying.
Oh, sorry.
No, I recruit for people. Pretty much the entire Gulf Coast is my recruiting territory. So I get calls like this all the time where I have to just zone in on what I'm doing and kind of ignore that.
Gotcha.
Hopefully it's not like an injury. I'll just let that go.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean that can happen sometimes with my line of work, which is a whole other story. But yeah, with Trump having that Twitter account, I feel like, you know, sometimes you wake up at 2 in the morning and you have a horrible thought. Okay, and if you were to write down this horrible thought and come back to it in the morning when you wake up, and you're gonna look at it and you're gonna be like, what was I thinking, you know? And you know, and we're normal people. We don't put it on Twitter, you know, all the time. I don't know if you do, but I don't. And you'll be like, well, that's a horrible thought, and you dismiss it. But then there's this president who, when he has these horrible thoughts, instead of just writing them down and maybe thinking about it later, you know, maybe he doesn't have the ability to process these thoughts before he publishes them. He actually just publishes them, and then all of a sudden we've created this whole culture where the entire country is just up in flames about this one tweet that he put out in a moment of, you know, maybe he wasn't thinking right, you know, and it almost makes it worse if he stands by his statements later because he's like, oh yeah, I said that. He's
like 70. He's like entered senility.
Yeah.
I know people that were mentally gone before they hit their upper 60s. So like.
Do you buy into the theory that, you know, he's kind of wasting away mentally and that he has mental issues? Have you kind of read into that too much yet?
No, but I very much could see that. Like, when you're 72, you're in the hardest job. I think it's the hardest job in the fucking world. Because they say that parenting is. Sure is. It's up there. I'll give it to you. It's up there. But at least with parenting, and this is really dark, at least only one person hates you.
Yeah. Or two, maybe.
Or two, yeah. Like, I think it's a fucking tough job, and it will wear on you. Dude, like, 10 years, you grow in 10 years, you're going to look a little different no matter what you do. Like, you ever look at pictures of Obama when he stepped in the office? He's all hip and cool. He's got little lines on his face, and he's got regular black hair, and he looks great. When he stepped out, it looked like he came out of a time portal, like a time machine, and that is not just 8 years. That is 8 years being hated, called all the horrible names. Like, I bet you people like read his internet inboxes, like Twitter, Facebook, whatever. It's like, well, we found maybe 2 emails out of 2 million that didn't have the N-word in it. Yeah, and he's got to deal with that shit no matter what. So, like, as far as Trump goes, I think, my God, it's got to be quite taxing on you. So. Yeah,
whether you like him or hate him, I think that's something we can all agree on, is the fact that this is very stressful, and maybe part of it is that maybe he's not just an idiot, but maybe this is just too stressful. Yeah. Maybe that's something that's just getting to his head, and maybe he's kind of just going nuts under all the stress, which is not uncommon. That happens to everybody. Every person at one point in their lives has gone through something that's really changed them, and maybe this is what it is for Trump.
Yeah, I mean, he is one of the richest people ever in the world, and like, it's old money. Like, his father passed down some of it, I think.
Oh, he had a small loan of $1 million.
Yeah, I know the quote. But like, if you or I got handed $1 million, I'd like to think we'd be okay with it. But like, I think I'd fucking blow it. I think I'd blow the opportunity. Like, I'd be like, well, I'm just gonna, spread a little around over here. It's like, dude, you can't buy that many video games. What are you saying? I can't? Here's $1 grand. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already going down the wrong path. Whereas he turned it into a fucking empire. So it's like, he had business tact.
He arguably turned it into an empire. He did invest in a lot of businesses. I'm sure you've seen those before, that most of them failed. And again, we don't want to get too much into politics, because you're right. It's been a well-conversed topic, and I'm sure people are totally over it. But when you if you did get a large amount of money, if you had a small loan of $1 million, I've kind of talked about this before, about what I would even do with it. And I wanted to learn from his mistakes and maybe my friends' mistakes, where they get a whole bunch of money and they kind of blow it all. I would like to think that I would do smarter things with it. Are you reading the comment?
Yeah, I actually am.
There you go, BJ Easy.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of. I haven't read half this. I will when I'm done, but I feel like we should be reading them on the.
The president is a case study in the personification of autism.
Oh, I know some autistic people that would be. No. I know a couple of people who are autistic. They have like some pretty good sense of humor about it. But a businessman could have done more with millions. Maybe, but he did it when it was like, was it in the 60s or 70s when he got that? I don't know. Yeah. But I'm not saying Trump's a good dude, because he's not. And I'm not saying he's a fucking evil dude. Like, I mean, some of the shit he says is pretty evil. I'm sure, I see him differently than what you see him differently, than that you see. Because it affects you differently than me. Like, I don't want to get too into it either, but like, when a complaint is lodged against him by someone who's a minority, I don't think Latinos or whatever are even in the minority. I think whites are now. But that name of minority is going to stick for a long fucking time for anybody who's not white. So I think anybody who is a minority that lodges a complaint against him it's different. Like, I don't think people should dismiss that because they don't see it. And I think the reverse is, like, a white person complained about something, I don't think it's right that a minority should demonize what they complain about. I think in reality, we should all just shut the fuck up. No, I'm totally kidding. I think if there is a complaint, it needs to be addressed. Like the wall thing, the Norway tweet, the kneeling at the football games, everything that's starting to happen. Gotta stop bumping that mic. Everything that's happening, I think it should be addressed, because either they just go away and people just give up and lose hope, or it gets worse and riots start and people die. So it's like you gotta have something to put out the fire. You can't just hope it's gonna burn itself out.
Yeah, I mean, no good comes from any of this, and that's the thing about Trump, is that, you know, I love that he's exposed all of this, but at the same time, you do have to recognize that there are a lot of repercussions to every little thing he says and everything he does, and it is sad. A lot of people have died from this stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous how much hate this has created. I mean, have you seen that? You know, the rate of suicides for people who are under 18 has skyrocketed. And a lot of that is coming from people who feel that they are different, because Trump has created this, you know, extreme racist culture. You know, there was that Muslim kid who was making a clock.
Oh, yeah.
And they said it was a bomb. I mean, can you imagine if this kid had really thought to himself, like, oh, you know, everyone hates me, and then he kills himself? You know, that could have happened.
I think Obama took care of it.
Obama took care of it. He did. That's my guy.
He helped him out.
Yes, he did. And I'm thankful for that. But I mean, think about what Trump has done to this kid. You know, well, do you think this would have happened if we didn't have Trump in office, and, you know, saying the things he said against Muslims and all that?
No. Or wait, your question was, would it have happened if he was not in here? No. I think that, I'll tell you, everybody's racist. It's always, it's never gonna die. But what happened was Obama was stomping out the flame of racism, and right before it got out, he got out of office, and they brought in Trump, and what he did was just fan it.
Yeah.
And
you couldn't have said it better. Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate that. He fanned the flame, and it was almost out, and now it's starting to because the people who you think he exposed the racism. That's a good way of putting it. That's actually a pretty good way of putting it, because when Obama took office, fuck it, I'll say it. I can't. It's my podcast. Do you remember in 2008 when he took office? Fuck it. I am a little nervous for saying this, but I'm gonna fucking say it.
All right.
You couldn't. Everybody in the world said faggot.
Oh yeah.
You can't say that anymore. You can't. And I'm not gonna say the F word, because I believe it's my fucking podcast. I'm gonna say it, and I didn't use it against somebody.
No, you didn't use it as a derogatory term. You used it as explaining, so I think you're okay.
Okay, thank you, because I really didn't want to offend anybody. Those always exist, but having closest and racist with influence causes president creates an atmosphere where it's most acceptable.
BJ needs to get on the show.
I think BJ lives in Milwaukee or Madison or something, doesn't he?
He worked for my company for a bit. He was working in Oshkosh. I know.
Well, BJ, if you're listening to this, you can come on. I'll have anybody on, really. It's just basically whoever says it first.
Yeah, sure.
So BJ, most definitely, if you want to come on, I definitely have you on, man, for sure. I met him once, I think, in person. And I enjoy talking to him too. We didn't talk about politics or anything. He says he's on his way. I think I've never talked politics with him at all, and I don't really want to. But if you come on, man, I'll talk with you. And even I probably will disagree with a lot of the shit you have to say. I don't agree with a lot of the shit that's going on here. I just don't. I have different views, but I'm not about to just say, well, fuck you. No, this is supposed to be a calm debate, and it's really, I'm not even debating you. I'm just talking about how I feel. If it happens to agree with you, but yeah, if BJ, if you want to come on sometime, man, you're more than welcome to. I live in Lamira, so if that works out for you. What I wanted to say though is I think I got it though. there's always been racism, or no, that word, yeah.
Yeah, we're
so when he came into office, everyone was still saying it, but like, dude, you can't say that shit anymore. It's bad. It's really bad. But it's always been bad. It's always been a horrible word. But now there's a stigma. Like, just in the last couple of years that he's been in, the 8 years that he was in office, he accomplished so much for, like, human rights, gay rights. Gays are humans.
They are.
They got recognized as humans. Jesus Christ! The fact that like somebody I heard somebody told me somebody said out loud that sorry, I used to get pretty hot-headed about politics. So many people on the internet. There's a lot to that comment. I really wish I could read that, Alexa. I'm sorry. I'll read it eventually, but I can't. Like, this is how bad of a setup I have. I'd have to go over that laptop and click on it because my mouse there isn't connected to it. But sadly, oh yeah. Well, if you watch it, it's gonna count. Is that what you're going for? Go ahead. Yeah. Just make sure the sound is down because it will pick up. It's gonna be weird hearing my own voice. And look at it. That's cheating. We're boosting our video. Yeah, but what I was saying is
they were both right.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, my intention is not to flare up any arguments on this thing, and if I do, I apologize. I probably won't argue. I'll just be like, oh, you're right. Please don't yell.
That's the touchy thing about talking politics is that you have to talk to somebody that you at least respect on some level, so that you can say, all right, I understand your point of view. I might disagree with you, but I can understand it and I can, empathize with what you're saying. So a lot of times you talk to people who are kind of Trump hotheads, because there's a difference between a Trump supporter and a Trump hothead. There are some people who worship the ground he walks on, and anything he does and says is just godly and perfect and correct. And then there are people who are like, I appreciate his business views. I appreciate the things that he's trying to pass, in Congress. But I don't really like the way he presents himself sometimes. And sometimes he doesn't say the right thing, but he's human.
Absolutely.
So yeah, there's a whole spectrum for Trump supporters, and there's a whole spectrum for Bernie supporters.
I think you were a lot calmer about that than most people. Like, he has no what he's saying sometimes. It's like, I'll even go a step further than that. I'm a hothead when it comes to both sides. You just said, Trump, you don't know what you're saying. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, dude, you don't get that fucking privilege when you're a president. You can't say shit like that. Jesus. Like, what was it? Like, a third of the world hates America, and that was the 90s. Now, 2/3, almost like 9/10 of the world, play some video games. But yeah, man, I actually want me on anytime. I'll talk about anything. Always have a session. Yes, man. If you can see, the fact that if you can tell, like, I can be pretty level-headed when I discuss things. But yeah, if you ever want to come on, we can talk. So thanks for tuning in, BJ. I don't like Bernie at all. I've never have. And the fact that he demonized money and hard work and shit and wanted to make everybody equal, fuck that. Everybody's equal. True. We're all humans and we all deserve a slice of the pie. You gotta get up and fucking work for it. You gotta get up early, you gotta put in long hours, and you gotta fucking work hard. It doesn't matter.
And see, I understand
you know what I'm saying?
I understand the part of Bernie that you don't like, but you have to agree that he was a lot better at, maybe even just maybe you can call it sugarcoating, but he was a lot better at being a politician. He's a lot better at saying, I respect your view. This is what I think. Trump's just not good at that.
Do you know why?
Because he's a businessman. He's not
a
politician.
Right. Yes. And that's not a good excuse. And the fact that he wasn't a politician and still won, what does that say? America kind of didn't do its... America didn't focus for a second. They're like, well, this guy Do you? I think we're going farther on than we should with this. We're eating up a lot of time talking about this fucking guy, and it's fine. It's just I want to have like one last closing thing. I was saying though, Obama did a lot for making people equal in the sense of where we should have been years ago, but it was sad to see the fact that like it took so many years to get rights for people who just had basic human rights. And now with Trump in office, that looks like it is threatened. And it looks like he is just campaigning for the white male. And that is scary. And as a white male, I can say that that's scary for other people. Like, and it's not right that I should support that based on the fact that it's going to work out for me.
But in the end, you know, every human has a selfish portion of them, and I do too. I do. Yeah. You know, when Obama came out with his immigration policies and everything, I was like, oh, this really benefits, you know, me and all these friends that I know, you know, that are Hispanic and are trying to get, you know, residency here. So I was like, oh yeah, Obama. And I know that he pushed some policies that didn't, you know, affect some people positively. And I know that, but I still, you know, wanted this guy in office because he was benefiting me. So I can definitely understand that. And a lot of the people in my office, you know, support Trump for that reason because he is lining our pockets. And trust me, I do support that portion of it. I don't hate money, and I do agree that people should work for their money.
You can't, because you can hate money, but you can't live without it.
Oh, no.
Pearl Jam.
Yes, no, I do love money. My sister asks me that all the time. She's like, would you rather be happy or would you rather have money? And I'm like, I'd rather have money and be happy.
Think of your kids.
Yeah, I'd rather use money to be happy. You know, and there's some days where I really hate hearing all that stuff, but at the end of the day, I go home and I have money. So I do understand that part. I do agree with that. The whole welfare thing, that's a soft spot. That's a sore spot for me. You know, I'm a mom of 2 kids. Yeah. I'm not on welfare. I don't get food stamps. I don't get any of that stuff. And I work really hard. You know, I don't qualify for the government assistance or any of that stuff, which is great. I'm really proud of that. But then you have people who purposely work less hours so that they would qualify for that kind of stuff. The welfare and getting to live in an apartment where you pay $60 a month for rent. You know, so that part is a huge sore spot for me because I'm working so hard and I have to pay so much for medical insurance. It is ridiculous. It is more than your rent, what I pay for in 1 month for my insurance and my son's. So yeah, no, we just talked about what our rent is, so that gives you an idea. So it's really frustrating when I hear these people who get free medical insurance because it's such a huge thing for me is how much I'm paying out of pocket for this stuff. So that's the part about Bernie that really frustrated me is that so many of his supporters were people who just wanted to live off the government. And I know that was the big thing with people who were supporting Bernie is that everyone else thought, oh, these people are just trying to get free shit. So that was the part that I was frustrated about. Yeah. So that part I agree with you on. So that's something we can, you know, level on. Yeah.
That was a big, well, I mean, it wasn't a deciding factor of me voting because I didn't fucking vote, but
I was close to not.
Yeah,
in the end,
but you did, and that's good that you did. That is really good. I'm sure you've noticed this. It keeps flickering, and I gotta fucking take care of it. I actually don't know what's going on with it. I think it might be
cable.
Nope, it's actually not. It's not anything. I think it might just be. I think it might just be like a screensaver. I really don't know why it's doing that. Like, it's not interrupting that.
Yeah.
It's just we won't be able to read the comments or anything, sadly.
Well, can always
Oh, see.
We have spent a lot of time talking about
I know, but that's kind of what I wanted to do anyways with you, like at least half of it. Yeah. I really don't know why the fuck this thing keeps blinking. Oh, don't do that. You know what? I'm just gonna unplug it because it's bothering me anyway.
All right.
It never did that with when Travis and I were doing it. If you want, you can watch it or like watch the comments or something. except that is gonna be you're gonna be one of our video viewers. So I said, oh, we have to boost the video because we have no viewers.
She loves money and she's the hardest worker I've ever met. That's Sean. Aww. I do love money. I hope she's not watching.
My cousin went through divorce. She's my age. It's sad that she had to go through that because she's a very sweet person and just didn't work out. And a lot of my mother really didn't like him that much. And during a wedding one night, everybody's drunk, and he and my mom started like getting into an argument. And she came over by me and I said, "What's going on?" She goes, "Oh, all he cares about is money and working, and he kept saying money over everything and shit." And I said, "Would you rather her be with a deadbeat or a guy that wants to provide for her?" You know, sadly, in the end, it didn't work out. But like, tying it all together, the whole thing with Trump is like, he's a nut. He's a fucking nut. And I had this theory that like, what if at the end of all the 4 years or however long he lasts, because you know if he is in the White House for the full 2 terms, he's going to be almost 80 when he gets out.
He's getting senile already. I don't know if that's going to
happen.
Right?
They're going to have people making decisions for him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, scary. Putin.
For
yeah, oh. What a sad existence.
That was me, but
no, it's not. It's just like thinking about that existence and it's like, no. I had this theory, and it's like a stupid theory, but I'm sure I'll get called out for this. What if I feel bad at the camera. Yeah, people can see this. I feel bad that he's getting so much hate. Like you said, you almost feel bad for him. But what if this is a classic comic book thing? If I wonder if Sean will pick up on it and tell me where it's from. There's a comic where this guy becomes so evil that the whole world unites to fight him. All of the people put aside their differences. Like all the world's superpowers make treaties to fight this guy. And he said, "Look, it took my hate to bring you all together."
That's what he's doing. That's why I said I love Trump. That's my first statement right there. I love Trump because he's done that for us.
He's uniting everybody against him.
You know, he has insulted so many people that all of a sudden you've got gay people and Latinos and, you know, African American people. That. They're black, whatever. I don't know what's insulting, what's not.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I had to ask you. It's like, are you Mexican or Latina or Spanish?
You only brown for like hair.
Brown.
I know some people are super touchy about it and they prefer Latina because Latina could refer to anybody from the Dominican Republic, from Puerto Rico, from Spain, from Mexico. So it's a broader term.
Okay.
Than just, you know, Mexican.
Okay.
But anyways, I mean, that's what he's done is he's united everybody against him.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know if you read that one meme that was like, you know, they came for gay people and I didn't say anything because I was safe. And, you know, they came for Mexicans and I didn't say anything because I was safe. They came for Muslims and I didn't say anything because I was safe.
Mm-hmm.
Then they came for me and there was no one left to fight for me. And when I read that, I was just like, oh, bombs going off. Like, holy shit, that's so true. You know, if you're not going to fight to, you know, defend people who are your equals, you know, eventually they're going to come for you for some reason. And you being a white male, you probably won't. You're probably pretty safe. But, you know, I have friends in the right?
Straighten my tie.
Yeah. But I have gay friends. I have black friends. I have friends in every color and every shape you can think of. And it just kind of sucked to see how badly they feel when they're being attacked by other people. So, and that's why I started defending them, and eventually he came around insulting Mexicans, and I was like, you know what? This really did bring us all together, because now I feel like we have this common enemy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sure the problem will take care of itself at some point, because he is getting old. He is senile.
When you mean that, you mean like he's gonna die?
You know?
Take care of itself.
I'm just going to take a long drink.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, the government is tapping our devices for sure, and there is somebody at my door. And like you said, I'm safe.
Yeah.
It was her off. I'm wearing a wire. These are all wires.
He's gonna attack the little brown girl talking shit.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't put it past him though. He's said worse about people who have done less.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Shit, I had one more thing, but it's probably best if we digest from this.
Yeah.
Digress.
Got into the Trump thing quite a bit.
Either way, another awesome theory. What if the plan was, okay, Obama, you're gonna get in and you're gonna bring everybody up to the same level, but there's gonna be like some kind of a race war where it's like, Obama's black, he's gonna empower the blacks, whites and blacks are gonna fight for the first time since the slave days or whatever. Yeah. Civil War, they fought on the same side.
Oh yeah.
Blacks and whites fought on the Union. Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah.
And it's like, but now Trump, you're gonna be such an evil fuck that you're gonna bring everybody together, and then once you get out, they'll see, oh, well, we're all together now, so let's stay together, and then the country's gonna soar to new heights, and everybody's gonna be together. But that's definitely not going to happen. That's too a happy ending. So
exactly. Yeah, life is on that, unfortunately.
Yep. Let's end on the fact that we're all doomed, and we should just have as much fun as we can before. And if somebody makes fun of you for being a different color, you should punch them in the nuts. And if somebody makes fun of you for a different color, and they're a girl, that means they have hairy balls, and you just kick them there anyway.
Oh, I'm gonna try to remember that one. Balls seems to be a common topic in your podcast, because the one I was listening to this morning was about old people having balls down to their knees.
Oh yeah, right. And I said to Hannah, I said, it's gonna fucking happen. You're gonna wake up someday and your fucking wizard sleeve is just gonna be hanging. And she's like, stop talking. I'm like, no, it's gonna fucking happen.
There's rejuvenation surgeries for that. But
don't stop, please.
I'm
gonna get lightheaded and fucking pass out right on fucking live camera.
All right, so what was your next question, Mitch?
God.
Oh, God.
All right. We won't talk about this too long, but I thought it was cool. I have an obsession with space, like outer space, and they just released some images of Jupiter. And it was the best image they have so far. And they got really, really close to it. And they think they saw something.
Are you talking about the worms?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, did you hear about that?
I read about it.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Did you hear this shit about Mars where we found water, and then they found out that it was all bullshit.
Yeah,
it's not there.
That was really disappointing.
But I mean, the fact that this isn't political, but Obama did shut down NASA. Well, he stopped funding for it, and the space, because he's like, we got to focus on Earth.
Yes.
Fair.
He worked on conservation.
Fair. That's fine. But now there's talks of us sending more people to the moon and shit. That Elon Musk guy, do you know who that is?
Yeah, the name sounds familiar. He doesn't pinpoint what it is.
He's a genius, but he also has a ton of money. So you see that video of the robot that was doing a backflip? He kind of pioneered that. And he tweeted that, and he goes, in 5 years, you won't even be able to see this guy running. Sleep tight. It's like, this guy is going to make the Terminator movies actually happen. But he wants to send someone to Mars in 10 years. And it used to take 15 years to get to Mars. I remember Googling that when I was 15, 16. I looked it up the other day. It takes 9 months to get to Mars now. With the Starship fuel or whatever that they use now. This rocket ship fuel. So I think they're having one-way trips there. Or they're going to. They're going to send a group of 30 people there that aren't going to come back to colonize it. They're going to set up homes and shit. So my question would be I don't know. What do you think?
Would I colonize Mars?
Would you? Sure. Would you be one of those people? They're we need one girl from Wisconsin. They pick you.
18-year-old Gabby would have said, hell yeah. 24-year-old Gabby with 2 kids. I can't.
You get to take one.
Subject Maverick, I love you. I'm taking Sean.
Oh, wow. I didn't specify.
The kids gotta grow up, on Earth. I've got a good support system. They would stay with their people.
Sean, you're going to Mars with Gabby. Did he say something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He said, "Go space."
Go space. Sean, you're going to Mars.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to move the camera because I feel bad that you can see all of me.
That's probably a good thing that you can only see all of you.
I mean, do you wanna be on camera? There, I think it's a little better.
Hi.
Yeah.
All right.
There's more people tuning into this than well, a lot of my views come after it's published. That's pretty cool. Well, innovation.
Yeah, there you go.
It's kind of distracting to me, but no, leave it there, leave it there. Because you can read that way. You can read the comments and you can tell me if anyone says anything. Yeah, but I thought that was kind of cool. They're still looking at shit from space. I think that's kind of neat. It's something new. They can't discover shit. That's not true. They discover shit all the time on Earth that they haven't seen ever.
Would you argue that space exploration is more important than deep ocean exploration when it comes down to it? Because Obama actually did quite a bit as far as, not only conservation efforts, but he wanted people to explore the Earth. Because when you really think about it, the Earth is practically untouched as far as... It's like 10%, they said. Oh my God. That they haven't covered. Yeah. Besides the land. Isn't it amazing? Yeah. I mean, there are probably tons of creatures down there that we don't even know about. Yep. They said that they've seen 10% of the ocean, something like that. I forget. There's a statistic, but yeah. No, you're right. They're always finding shit. I remember last year I read an article. They found 60 new species of frog. Mm-hmm. That's incredible. A species, not a kind. A species. That means that there's the tree goes like that instead, from up here, and there's 60. And then those are branching. There's actually a whole bunch of really cool things that I've read, even just recently. So I'm kind of big into the whole evolution thing. I find Darwin. Do you want more? I might in a minute, yes. Yeah. So I've read a lot about the Darwinism theories and whatnot, and there's this recent article about Galapagos finches. I don't know if you know too much about the Galapagos. Finches. Yeah. Like a bird? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the Galapagos Islands, that's where Darwin pretty much started cataloging every single bird on this island. And he wanted to pretty much see evolution. And recently they found a whole new species of finch. And on this island. So this is a huge discovery. There was a lot of articles about it. And the point is that he was able to see evolution work because evolution created this new species. And that's now. That's this year. That just happened. I was going to ask, when did you watch this? Literally just this year, a couple months ago. That's awesome. I was reading this and I was like, holy shit. This is amazing. And that's happening here. And I feel like we really need to work on those conservation efforts and exploration here. And I agree, if we had the money, if we had a bigger funding that we could really work with, and we had a better taxation system where we knew our money was going to this stuff, we should go to space. It'd be a cool thing to explore. But we really need to work on our Earth right now because it's going downhill. Literally. Yeah. I've always said this, even as a kid, because I didn't understand why it wasn't happening. I love Earth, go find some shit. But you should probably build homeless shelters more than anything in this world. Schools for children and homeless. Stick most of your money in those two. Dave Thomas, who founded Wendy's, don't ask me how my dad told me this when I was really young, because I remember going to Wendy's as a kid, and it's my favorite restaurant ever, and my dad always took me there. And when I got older, he said the reason I did was because he found out that Dave Thomas, when he died, he left the majority of his money, not just to his restaurant, he gave it to schools, for children. You're preparing the next set of minds to come into the world. You should have the best possible education. Then, dealing with the homeless. You got the people who just don't want to work. You got the people who can't work. There's a lot of shit going on.
But god damn, you gotta give him a second chance. You gotta at least say you gave him a second chance.
The rehabilitation efforts need to be tripled as far as homeless people, as far as people who have been in prison, felons who can't get jobs because they've got a felony on their record.
For like marijuana or some shit. Yeah.
I did not know this. I have friends my age who have felonies under their belt. I had no idea until I tried hiring them, some of them through my work, and we can't hire anyone with felonies, unfortunately. And I was like, God, this guy's a good guy. He made one mistake when he was like 19 years old, and now he can't get a job and he can't better his life. And
I think the severity of felonies needs to be addressed.
I think the word felony, you need to revisit what people have really done. And
yeah.
Again, our dude Obama here, he was forgiving a lot of, things that people have done, the whole marijuana thing. He was forgiving a lot of people who were arrested for marijuana, which is the stupidest thing in the world.
There's people in prison for life for possessing like over the legal amount.
Yeah.
That's fucking disgusting.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I feel like the rehabilitation efforts need to be, really maximized here, because these are people who aren't bad people. They might have made one mistake. If they killed somebody, I get it.
I was gonna say, you can't kill people.
You can't kill people get away with it. Yeah.
Texas is doing this shit right. Mm-hmm. They kill you back.
Yeah, they kill you back.
They're like, fuck you, dude. You can't do that.
Yeah, I get that. I totally agree with that. And obviously, there's got to be a good legal system that really proves, like, hey, this guy 100% did it. Like, we have every proof that we need. He's going to die now. We're like, all right, cool. The world would be better off without this guy.
Sometimes it can't.
In which case, he probably shouldn't die. He should probably just go to prison for life unless, something comes up where he's proved, that he wasn't guilty, because that's been the case sometimes too. It's rape cases that they finally prove that they're not guilty, and it's like, shit, we fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that when it comes to people who are homeless or who are in prison or who have, have done bad shit in their lives, we need to really focus on getting these people to a better level, because nothing is going to happen if we just keep either enabling their behavior or treating them like they're monsters and that they're people who don't deserve to live anymore. Because turns out if you build people up, it'll raise them to a good level, and if you keep hammering them down, they're just going to do worse and worse things. If you're going to ostracize these people who do drugs and not help them overcome their addiction or overcome the things in their life that makes them do drugs, they're never going to get out of this cycle. And when it comes to homeless people, most of them are people who've done drugs and lost their homes and lost their families. So I agree 100%. Like, these people need help. They don't need, spikes on benches, public benches. That's ridiculous. Also, not a good, it's a safety hazard. You think my 4-year-old is going to look at these spikes and be like, oh, those look kind of fun. And then he's going to go over there and he's going to try, I don't know, doing something with them. That's not cool. Come on.
Mom.
Yeah. No, that was ridiculous. I could not believe that we're living in a day and age where people think that that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, surprise! They're meant to force people into they're like, don't sleep under the bridges. There's spikes. Come into the shelter. No, that's not the case. There's sadly, there's not a lot of shelters going on. That's so weird. I can see myself doing the hand motions.
Eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. That is true.
Yeah. I can see you pawing at this, so you can go get another if you want. I'll hold on to the ruin.
Oh my god.
No, you can. All right. I will not.
Only because
refuse.
It's actually really good.
I'm not going to refuse you to have a drink. So while she goes to get her wine, I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Leave some comments. There's a lot more comments on this video than there are in the previous ones. So I really appreciate the effort to put in some discussion. When we're talking about the politics, you guys got involved in that. And I love that there was no heated debates. There was nothing hot-headed. It was all subdued and that's what I'm looking for. Gentle. I don't think there's a lot of debate. There's not much debate when it comes to shit like that. Like, I know a lot of Trump supporters, and they're few and far between. But God, when they go off on that, it's kind of disgusting to hear. Like, unions kind of discussing, we're gonna fucking throw them all on the other side of the wall and build that shit up. We're gonna put crocodiles in the fucking river. Like, that's disgusting. Like, I am a Republican, but Jesus Christ, it sucks to hear about that. Got your wine?
I did.
So you didn't know I was Republican?
No, I had no idea.
You know, I can be a Republican, and you know, I can still like Obama. I guess I'm not a Republican then if I like Obama, because I like a president based on what they're doing. I don't like them based on their party.
Yeah.
So I'll switch if I have to. I have switched.
I was thinking about switching before this last election, to be honest. You know, because a lot of the people at my job are Republican, and these are people who are very influential, people who I really respect, and they have these ideas where, you know, they're talking about, you know, business ethics and the things that Trump has done as far as, you know, funding their pockets. And I'm like, you know, he actually has a lot of different ideas that fund my pockets. So people are selfish. You know, we're naturally selfish people. So whenever they bring up those ideas, I'd be like, you know, maybe it's not such a bad idea. But I can't condone the things he said about minorities and, you know, gay people and, you know, all that stuff.
See, you're on one hand, you're like, oh, I need to. You're weighing against, like, man, I need to be nationalistic, and I need to. If you don't want to wear the headphones, you don't have to.
No, you're fine. Just adjusting.
Because I'm noticing, like, I was able to hear my own voice, and me and Trash would do it. I don't know what happened to the settings. We're coming in clear, but sharks with laser beams. It's from Austin Powers.
Movies.
Well, when you were in the bathroom, I said I am a Republican, but sometimes it's fucking disgusting to hear, like, some of my friends will get it so into the Trump thing that, like, they'll be Obama culture where they're very eloquent, they don't say the F word, and all of a sudden they get revved up, and all of a sudden it's like, well, why don't we just fucking throw them all back over the wall, build that wall up, we're gonna put fucking alligators in the river. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And that's why he said sharks with laser beams. That's from Austin Powers when he said, I want a tank filled with sharks and I'm gonna put laser beams on their head. Oh. And he's like, that's going to be at the front of my palace.
Oh my God.
I remember when they were talking about building a wall, like during the Obama administration, there's like a sect of people that was going to talk about it. And so I think it was Stephen Colbert, back when he was doing the Colbert Report, like way back in the comedy days. He was like, well, I heard reports that they're going to make a lake of gas between us, and gasoline between us and Mexico, and they're going to put fire-resistant alligators, and they're going to start it on fire so that it's going to constantly burn, and then there's going to be, like, if somehow you manage to cross the lake of fire, you're going to be eaten by these fire-resistant alligators.
Oh my God.
He was obviously a joke. It wasn't fucking real, but what's this? Bernie was the best choice for humanity to move forward as a whole. You know, that's Sean, you should have come over here.
Yes, I would.
I was laughing at like man, she's really racking these up here.
Oh.
All of a sudden you're just gonna be like, Mitch, knock all the fucking bombs.
I might need a ride home, honey.
Oh, hey, you can stay here. You can watch some Netflix. I just finished season 1 of Strange Things, so I don't know if you're a Netflix friend or.
I watched Friends over and over in the background, but I can't even watch TV shows, you know, beginning to end.
You don't do that.
You know, I actually recently found out that I have ADD. This is very recent. This was like last week.
I have something to say about that. I think you might have ADD.
Yeah.
But everybody does.
Yeah.
And do you know why?
Yeah, that's true.
It's because of this. This is a computer. Okay? It's a computer. And we have information delivered to us so fast now that you didn't have. Do you remember on the older computers? You're not that much younger than me. You had to click the internet and then go in the kitchen, grab yourself a snack, grab a drink.
The dial-up thing.
Oh, yep.
I remember dial-up. Yep. I remember not being able to use it when someone was on the phone.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
We played Snake on the computer more than anything else. Remember that Snake game? That was awesome.
I actually have a retro version
of course
on my
you
phone.
do. You would.
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
Moving on.
No, that's good. Well, what that means is like we're getting information so fast that when it's not being delivered to us, we just start. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not. I don't think it's a medical condition, but if you need a pill to straighten out, take a pill. Take a fucking pill.
I haven't gotten that far yet. I hope not.
I don't think you will. I think everybody in the world has a mild form of ADD, and I think once you recognize it, if you can like my phone's been in front of me this whole time. Have you seen me go to anything other than my notes?
I've not.
Yeah, you have to develop a new skill to not fidget. Mm-hmm. Sucks, but I don't know. I think as long as you don't play into their game of like, what? I have ADHD. I need pills. Give me some fucking pills. Mm-hmm. Now you're spending money on pills when you could just be like, just try your best not to fuck around. That's just my philosophy. Let's talk about Harry Potter.
Okay. Let's. All right. What do you have to say about Harry Potter? Because you didn't tell me you were Republican until after the whole conversation.
Oh, I fucking hate Harry Potter.
All right.
I'm just kidding. I love Harry Potter. Did you? What did you? Well, dude. There's fucking.
The Cursed Child or the last one?
Oh God, no. We don't have that trash here.
Did you read it?
No.
Oh my God, I am so happy for you that you didn't read it because it would have ruined everything you've ever known about Harry Potter. That book isn't fit to wipe my ass with.
Before we go any further, are we going to talk spoilers for Cursed Child?
No.
I would like to read it at some point.
My opinion on it is that it sucks.
Okay.
I'll tell you
you can have opinions, of course.
Yeah, it sucks. Characters didn't do what you think they would do. They didn't stick to their morals that we established in the earlier books. So that's not spoiler, is it?
No, I've read all of them. Actually, I haven't read the last one.
You haven't read The Cursed Child, or you haven't read
I've read half of Deathly Hallows because the second half came out in the theater, and I was like, "Fuck it." I know.
But it was so different. No, you have
I know.
to read that. But I feel like we could have an entire podcast after you read the second half of that book. Characters die. Some of them do things that you wouldn't think they would do. And, yeah.
So that book's been out for over 10 years now. It came out like 06 or 07. It came out in 08, I think. Yeah, it's 2018 now.
Yeah.
When I first got it, the day it came out, I flipped right to the fucking end.
You fucking didn't.
Just hear me out. I've never told anybody this, by the way. Just so you know, you're the first person to know.
The epilogue? Did you just read the epilogue?
No. I was reading a page, and Voldemort and Harry were talking. And I was like, I'll get to the end of this shit. 2 pages later, they were talking about moving his body, Voldemort's body. I'm like, whoa, he fucking dies somewhere in here.
So what?
I don't know how.
Why did you do that?
Because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I was 17. I was fucking 17.
Oh man, the audacity of some people. I respected you more when you told me you were a Republican.
Listen, I love Harry Potter to death. When I was really young, it was my world, and I know everything about it, including, have you heard the theory that Harry is a nobody? And that the true, he's a nobody. He was a decoy, because the real hero is Neville.
I have heard that.
Yeah.
But I've also heard the theory that it could have been either one of them that was the hero, but that they kind of chose their way after they were born and after they kind of grew up and things ended up going a certain way for each of them. But the prophecy could have been about either one of them, and that is visited in the second half of that book, which you have yet to read.
Which I have not read. Oh.
Yes.
Because I watched this YouTube video of them pointing out all these things, but they were so vague that that doesn't really fit. There was a part where when in the first movie where Neville is he's on the broom for the first time, and they said that it was the broom instructor's name was
Madam Hooch.
Madam Hooch. That she did that on purpose to break his arm so he would be in the hospital waiting out of danger. Whereas Harry was, Neville's the chosen one, but he's not strong enough yet. He's got to stay out. He has to be as safe as possible. He needs to be out of the way so that, and then that way Harry can be like a soldier for our army and lead the army. But then at the end, Neville kills the snake. Mm-hmm. And then that way but in every movie, something crazy or weird happens to him, but that's to keep him out of the way so he doesn't get hurt worse, so he doesn't get killed, basically. Mm-hmm. But that's what they were saying about it.
So what I understood about Neville's misfortune is actually that if you read in the first book, it actually says that Neville never got a new wand. Neville has never had a wand for himself that was chosen by him and the wand chose him. He got his dad's hand-me-down wand. So the reason it malfunctions is because it's not his wand. It was never meant for him. He's never been to Grindelwald's, or not Grindelwald's, Ollivander's, and had a wand chosen for him.
Okay.
So that was actually, I think that's, and that one makes the most sense as to why this wand always malfunctioned and why he was such kind of an idiot with magic, because he never had a good channel or funnel, I guess, for his magic powers.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make sense too, but I guess you never really know what Madame Hooch's role was. I actually don't think they really talk about that.
It was all the teachers.
Oh, okay. That would make sense.
Like when they would mock him and put him down and call him a failure, it was so that he wouldn't believe in himself and rise up and become confident in himself like Harry. Because Harry needed to be the decoy to stand in front of him. Because he was too fragile, he was too important. They couldn't risk having him be in the line of fire.
Because you could have very much ruined this kid's life by doing that.
Yep. Well, I mean, I think it does make sense, and especially with the whole thing with your not having the right wand, like.
Maybe that was on purpose too.
Yeah, that's what the video was saying. Was like everything was on purpose to protect Neville.
Because the wand chooses a wizard. That was one of the first things you read in the first book.
Yeah.
I mean, and everybody knew that, so that could have very much been on purpose. That's an interesting theory. I haven't heard that one before. I have heard that it could have been Neville or Harry. Yeah. Because the similarities between them are uncanny.
Yeah. Well, Harry's parents are dead, whereas Neville's parents are mentally dead.
They might as well.
Yeah.
It's almost a fate crueler than that.
Yeah. I really wish. I mean, get off of her, you bitch, was cool when Weasley's mom killed her.
Yeah.
I thought Neville should have. I envisioned this a long time ago. I wanted Neville to stab her with a wand, not use magic, just physically kill her, like stab her with, like break the wand somehow, and then just shank her with a stick, and just have her die in like this old medieval fucking, like the worst way. I thought that would be neat. And then just as fuck it, I'm not a good wizard anyway. And then because he doesn't use his wand at all, he uses a fucking sword. The sword, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. And what is he becomes the herbology professor, doesn't he?
Yes.
Later on.
Mind blowing, you know.
The real hero that works with plants.
And I don't know if you've read too much about like the theories about what J.K. Rowling did with the whole magic versus non-magical powers thing, but the whole thing, the whole battle, the whole reason that Voldemort died at the end, spoiler.
Yeah, 10 years later.
It actually came down to one fight between Malfoy and Harry Potter. It was one physical fight where they fought over the wand, and Harry, obviously, he won the wand.
Yeah.
And the reason that this wand changed allegiance was because Harry won a fist fight. So, and I love that.
Whoa.
I love that you pointed out that there was this non-magical, factor in the whole reason that he won the war. And you have to read this book, man. It's so good.
Now I want to.
It came down to that one fist fight.
So Malfoy is evil at the end? Because in the movie they portrayed him as he gave up and just left with his mom.
You know?
He walked off with his mom and that was it.
That's very much a moral choice for every reader. And I love that J.K. Rowling left so much up to the reader.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I feel like he was this person who was he was in a bad family. He was given all these choices that weren't good choices. It was like, well, you can either be evil with us or you can be evil with them, but either way, you're going to be a bad guy, And he did what he could with what he had. He was raised to be an evil guy, and he was raised in this evil, you have to argue, what if these people grew up in the Ku Klux Klan,
Jesus.
That's all you know.
Yeah,
so when you grow up, you make your own choices.
Yeah.
And then when Malfoy grew up, he made his own choices, and unfortunately, he just kind of didn't have that self-confidence to say, all right, you know, maybe I shouldn't be this and we'll do it, you know. So he ended up making some, you know, other bad choices, and eventually he ends up just kind of knowing Harry Potter and being able to just kind of like, you know, give him the head nod, like, hey man, what's up?
At the end of the movie,
and then in the epilogue, that's noted that he does eventually grow up and have his own kid, and their kids are actually the people who are featured in the Cursed Child. So that's something you got. That's a whole other story.
God damn it.
Yeah. It gets better, I promise.
So Malfoy acknowledging Harry is in the book.
In that book.
Okay.
Yeah. It's more of like this begrudging, like, you exist. All right, cool.
Oh, I thought it was more of like...
They're not friends.
They're not? Because they portrayed each other as, like, equals at the end of the movie, because there's a deleted scene, I guess, in Deathly Hallows where Malfoy was supposed to throw Harry the wand to end Voldemort. And I was like, could you imagine that? Because he saves him from that, like, room of fire, doesn't he?
Harry saves Malfoy.
Yeah.
Yes. And then Ron goes, you know, Harry, if we die from this, I'm going to kill you. So that was that bit of, like, humor that they put in the movie. But the movies aren't a good representation of the books. And that pisses me off because, J.K. Rowling very much said, you guys can't make these in the movies unless they're perfectly accurate. And we're like, okay, awesome, this is going to be sweet because they're going to make movies out of my favorite books. And then I watch the movies and I'm like, okay, where's Peeves? Where is the explanation about Charlie? One of their brothers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that they omitted from the movies, and the Malfoy and Harry relationship is one of them. You know, you kind of get a little bit of it, and they kind of like made it more dramatic when he's supposed to, you know, give him a wand. Because I remember watching that scene, I remember, and that just wasn't really how it was portrayed in the books. It was a lot more complicated than that. I think Harry punches him in the face at one point. Ron punches Malfoy in the face, and he said something like, "This is for Hermione," or "This is for someone."
Yeah.
And oh my god, there's just so much to that. Have to read the books. If you take one thing,
I've read all the books except the last one. I got halfway through it. The part where I stopped was in there raiding Gringotts.
Okay,
that's
the
where
dragon.
I stopped. Yeah, okay. I have them on DVD, and I want them on Blu-ray so bad because I more than anything, I'm a graphics nut. I couldn't give a shit about sound. I want visuals. Like, I want crisp, clear screen. And then, I don't have a 4K TV, but I'm looking to get one soon. And we got another comment here. Oh, that's Sean. And Jenny sent me something. I want to get them on 4K when I get a 4K DVD or 4K player. And the cover for the one that I have is the kids in the boat going up to Hogwarts for the first time. But the 4K cover is just a snitch sitting on a table. That's all it is. I think it's really cool. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, it's so boring. But it's like, if you're looking at that for the first time, like, how mysterious is that? You're like, what the hell is that?
It's almost a cooler cover.
Yeah, it's more it's representative of something. It's like, I like the cover for the DVDs where they're going to the castle. It's like, holy shit, there's a castle in this? What the hell is this? Yeah, like, I'm looking at it from a person who's never seen it. Like, one of my exciting things is, like, and I'm sure you felt this too, is like to show for the first time to your kids, to show them what it's going to be like. And I don't know how your oldest is. Is it
4?
5? Okay,
4 now.
Like, I was 9 when I saw the first one. 9 or 10.
That sounds right. It came out. The first book came out in 1997.
No.
No.
The first book was out in the 90s, like early 90s, and it didn't get picked up until and it didn't get pick up steam until like later on.
I read it in 1997, so maybe that was the time reference.
Me too, actually. And
it was the year my brother was born. I was really young.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was like 7. And I could not get through the first chapter. I'm like, holy shit, I hate this book.
Oh my.
Because
what made you read it eventually? I mean, you hated it.
The movie. I saw the movie, and then I read the book. And then I read all the books, like, as fast as I could. And, like, I'm looking forward to my kids, like, getting old enough, like 8 or 9. I have no qualms about my kids seeing violence. Fine, okay, it's just a fucking movie. They'll know the difference. Or whatever. Like, whatever's in it that's so bad, but I want them to be able to understand it.
Yeah. 4K now, he says. We have a 4K TV. And
I hate you.
he's very much like a visual guy. Like he absolutely has to have the best TV and the best everything. And with you being a visual guy, do you really appreciate that movie, the evolution of graphics that you can see within the Harry Potter movies? Have you noticed that yet? That when you watch the movies from first to end, you're just like, holy shit, they came
sure. Yeah.
such a long way.
Well,
that last movie is just...
It's 10 years.
Yeah.
It's,
you can see the evolution of graphics
it's
within
over,
Harry Potter.
It's over 10 years. Wait, no, it is 10 years. 2001 to 2011.
I'm not sure when the first movie came out.
I mean, I don't like doing this, but I'm going to do it. I always do it. And for some reason, oh, that's not who I thought it was. Let's see, Harry Potter. Sorcerer's Stone, 2001. Deathly Hallows Part 2, 2011.
Part 2 came out in 2011.
10 years of a lot of graphics can change in 10 years, and I think it's really neat. Yeah.
I love that. I'm excited to show my sons that. However, I'm gonna wait until they can read the books, and it's gonna be really hard because Harry Potter has spoilers left and right, and people already know about Harry Potter. It's a thing.
Yeah, true.
But I want them to read the books. I like that they're getting into reading. Cedric was just picking up a book and just chilling on the couch.
That's good. That's good for kids, especially at that age. I know, no offense to who's listening to this, but I know a lot of kids will scream until their parent hands them the phone. Here's a phone, here's a tablet, and they'll just sit there, and that's fine. That's fine. If it gets your kid to shut up, good. It's good for you. I know it's taxing to always hear them just. I can't imagine it. I don't even have kids, and I can't fucking handle it. But that's really good, though, that your kid takes to a book over a tablet or something else.
Most of the time.
Sure. No, there's nothing wrong with it.
He still takes his tablet and he still watches it before bed. But it's always like educational stuff, and he's really into Minecraft.
Yeah.
So into Minecraft, and I don't know anything about it. But like one of his birthday parties 2 years ago, I made this like Minecraft piñata, and I was like, I don't even know what it is. It was called a creeper. Yep. He calls them creepers.
Yeah, that's what they're called.
I made this like green, digitalized, pixelized piñata, and he looked at me and was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And I got him a blue diamond sword so he could hit the piñata with the blue diamond sword, and he loved it. Again, I know nothing about Minecraft, but that's what he likes to watch before he goes to bed, is Minecraft.
It's a game that really pushes creativity because you build shit. Have you watched him play it?
He builds shit.
Yeah.
And he was 3 years old when I actually watched him play for the first time, and I looked at him like, oh my god, how are you doing this? And he goes, I'm building a bed, and I'm building a tower, and I'm blah blah blah. And I just look at him like, I don't even know what you're doing. What do the buttons do? I've never really played, I guess. The last game I played was COD with my brother 10 years ago now.
You don't play games with Sean?
No, I don't. We're not really gamers.
That's all right.
I'm sure he would be if we had an Xbox at home anymore. We got rid of it because Cedric was kind of getting too into Minecraft, and we'd be on it for like 2 hours.
Yeah, sure.
He was really impressive with everything he could build, and he's like, I'm going to build a fire, and I'm going to cook my chicken on it. And I'm like, okay.
These are real life. These are life skills.
Yeah.
And he's getting it from a video game.
Yeah, I was really impressed. So I mean, I'm sure he's gonna get that Xbox back. It's in our closet, in the next couple of years. I was just kind of getting concerned with his screen time, but that's his thing. He likes to play Minecraft, and I had no idea that he could. So it really amazes me how much 4-year-olds know these days.
I wasn't even making memories of 4.
It
was just darkness.
Yeah,
I was like, every now and then I had like a snippet of me
something.
like crying or shitting my pants. I don't know.
Morbid.
Well, it's like, I think it's really neat though that I think it's really neat that you took fuck, you gotta stop hitting this thing. I think it's really neat though that you are concerned with his screen time, because it's not as unhealthy as people think it is. But like, you don't want him to depend on that for his entertainment. You can have it for entertainment, but to depend on that, like that, I was actually scared to get Netflix when I was like 22 when I first got it. They're like, what's the fuck's your problem? Why are you scared of Netflix? I'm like, because I'll depend on it. And when I don't have it, that's when I'll shake from not having fucking Family Guy or Archer playing in the background. I don't know if you watched the last one we had or listened to the last one, but me and Travis, I didn't know he was writing it. He wrote some stand-up comedy. And we decided to, I really hope I'm still getting picked up because, oh yeah, I see it. I hope we're still sounding okay, guys. Whoever's watching us, I don't think anybody is watching us anymore, but I hope we're still sounding okay. Well, no, it's fine. How long are we going? Hour and a half?
Oh, crap.
Oh, dude, usually we go like 3.5, 4 hours. But I polled the audience or whatever, and they said that they didn't want to.
Justin says we're good.
You're good. Sounds good. Okay, good.
Right.
Excellent. I didn't want to depend on Netflix. Oh, no, I've been writing some stand-up for like a year, and eventually my goal is to just do an open mic just to say I did it. Yeah. I'm not going to actually make a career out of it or anything, but I have this part about where your internet goes out, and after the panic goes away, you start thinking, well, I'm gonna do my laundry, I'm gonna get productive around the house, I'm gonna really, step up my game. What can I do first? Oh, I'm gonna go do the dishes, and then you fill up the sink with whatever. You start doing it, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I can't fucking do the dishes because I always have my phone sitting here with Netflix playing in front of me, so I can't do the dishes. Fuck it.
Yes.
Go on the couch and cry. So so it's like I didn't want to depend on it, and I don't like. I'm actually not on Netflix much. I'm on video games a lot more, but they have Netflix for video games now. That you probably didn't know because you're on videos.
No.
Yeah.
What?
On PlayStation and Xbox, they have PlayStation. It's called PlayStation Access, I think, and Xbox is called Xbox Pass. For $15 a month for Xbox, you log in and it's just like Netflix. You scroll through all the shit, but they're video games. You click on it, you can play it, and it's for $15 a month. You have access to all these games. PlayStation is similar, but it does it a little differently. So other than the details of it, but it's crazy now that you can do that. You don't have to go to the store and rent anything.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually.
I think it's pretty neat. I don't have it myself, but I know friends who do. They're like, oh, I don't like using the term game changer because I think it's dumb and it's overused, but it's
game changer.
It's a fucking game changer. Do you have any New Year's resolutions that you feel comfortable talking about?
Every year I kind of have these same, because I always say that I hate to cook and I'm a bad cook. I say I don't have the patience for it. Just this week, I realized that it's not that I don't have the patience; it's that I don't have the fucking time. Because this week I worked from home a couple days because my brother-in-law had surgery, so I was with my kids at home, and I had hours ahead of me, and I was just kind of like, I want to cook something. I'm like, all right. Now I started making all these like dishes and whatnot, and I'm like, I really like cooking. So every year, my New Year's resolutions has something to do with cooking. Last year, I wanted to learn how to make chicken stir fry, the kind that they have at Sarku in the Appleton Mall. And have you ever had that before? Oh my god!
No, but I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, and it's chicken stir fry, and it sounds so basic, but I've never made it myself. So I tried making it this year. It didn't end up the best, so I want to improve that. That's one of my resolutions. The other thing is I want to learn how to broil a steak in my oven. I have never done that. Have it a broiling pan, put a fucking steak on it, and make a steak at home. I've never done that. I love steak. I love getting sirloin steak or New York strip steak.
Yeah.
I
like New York strips.
Yeah, I appreciate a good steak, and I really want to learn how to make that at home. And it probably sounds like the most basic New Year's resolution, but I really want to learn how to do that. I like learning, new things and figuring out how to do things. Also, I want to learn how to make sushi. Like the sushi rolls, because I really like sushi. Yeah. It's really good for you. I don't know if you've ever tried, I forget what it's called, over in Oshkosh. They've got this great sushi place.
Is it called King Chef?
Sakura. No, Sakura.
Oh, wait. Sakura?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not in Appleton?
It's off the highway. No, that's a different one. There's another Sakura.
Oh, I'm thinking of Osaka's. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
Sakura, okay.
Yeah, Sakura, right off the highway in Oshkosh. And that's usually where I go to, like, for lunch with my colleagues and whatnot. And we always have this thing called an amazing roll. And I've, like, Pinterested how to make this roll, and I really want to learn how to make it. So those are usually my resolutions, something to do with cooking.
To cook? That's a lot. That's doable. That's fucking doable, yeah. Because all you have to do is just put the time in and force yourself to do it.
Yeah, and I want to learn how to make it. It would be a pretty cool thing. Like, oh, you guys want some sushi for dinner? You know, come over to my place. We're gonna have a sushi night. I'm gonna make sushi rolls for everyone. That's a cool thing to do.
And it's something that other people can benefit from.
Exactly. Yeah. I recently bought a guitar, and I didn't buy like an awesome, amazing guitar. I just bought this little like child-sized one because I'm a child.
First act?
Yeah. Well, no, it was something different, but it was pretty much a first act guitar. And my brother-in-law is this. He won't admit it, but he's a really good musician. And as soon as he picks up guitar, he's just like, and I'm like, holy shit, he's really good. And so is Sean. Again, he'll never admit it. And if you ask him to tell you something about himself, he would never say, I know how to play guitar. But he fucking does.
It's always the best ones that are really humble about it.
Yeah, super humble about it. Yeah. And he had this electric one at home that he didn't have plugged into like a speaker or whatever. But he'd pick it up and he would like twiddle with it and he would do all sorts of amazing chords and amazing transitions. And I was always really impressed. I'm like, you know what? If I tell him I want to play guitar, he's going to give up on the guitar. So I'm like, all right, I want to pick up a guitar and I want to have him teach me how to play guitar. So this year, I just want to learn how to do basic chord transitions and kind of understand it a bit more. I've had a couple of classes so far with his brother-in-law and I've learned a couple. But I want to get better. And part of it is that I have to cut my freaking nails because apparently they're too long to play guitar.
Yep, you got to keep your nails short.
I had like longer nails before, and this is already as short as I wanted to go, but I have to go shorter because I can't transition the chords correctly with the nails I've got now. That was another one of my resolutions, figure out how to play basic chords on guitar. Just because you should be a well-read person, and they say every person should know how to play an instrument. I'm not a musical person. I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't play instruments. So I really hope that I kind of stick to this one and figure it out. So that's one of them, is to do that.
Yeah, that's one of them. You listed off like 4. It's really good.
I usually meet my resolutions though. I'm weirdly one of those people who actually goes through with them because they're usually pretty simple too.
I think it's simpler than say like losing weight because it's like you gotta really work at that and you have to change a lot of aspects of your life. Whereas like cooking, that just takes determination to sit down and do it. And if you fuck up, try again. Don't get discouraged.
And asking the right people. I'm trying to figure out how to do this chicken wild rice cheesy soup that I tried in Kentucky the other week. It's so good. This chef came out and I asked her how to make it. She gave me her recipe while we were down there. So I got all the ingredients last night and I'm going to make it this weekend. And she mentioned something about making a slurry, something to make the soup thicker. And when I mentioned it to my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law last night, they're like, oh yeah, a slurry, everyone knows how to make that. And I'm just like, I have no idea what a slurry is. So that's another thing that I want to learn. I want to develop as a human being and understand how to, make soups, for God's sake. So that's another thing. It's just, being a better human being and knowing more things is one of my goals, I guess.
That's really respectable because I'm starting to get into that myself of I want to do more with my life. Like, you kind of have to I feel like you have to kind of figure out who you are as a person first. Like, some people figure out faster than others, but like once you figure out who you are, and it occurs for everybody at a different age, sometimes you never figure it out. But once you do, I feel like when you know who you are, then you can start branching off from that. And you're like, well, I want to continue doing this, but maybe I want to lessen some over here and branch out over here. So I think that's really neat. And I think all your resolutions you could be started on in like tomorrow. Yeah, your month. And then you can start doing more shit. And then it starts snowballing and no momentum and all of a sudden, you're running for like city council or some shit. I don't know. But like
I've been told that before.
You have no idea how far your motivation can go. Yeah. Like you get motivated, and then not only that, but you motivate other people. And I'll be honest, sometimes I look on Facebook and I see people posting fucking weird shit. It's like, oh, shut the fuck up. You're not going to do that. But then when you do, it's like, this person is trying with their life and they're succeeding. Well, shit. Maybe I should, look at myself before I judge them and, say they're attention seeking. But I think it's really neat that you have those goals. I don't have any, so.
I was gonna ask you, what do you got going on? I mean, come on.
I don't have a resolution.
You want to be the same sarcastic asshole you were last year? That's a
no,
meme, but it might be true.
I was gonna say you had the best sense of humor for anybody when I posted that. When I went through that year of posting really terrible shit that got me in trouble, like I that's why I stopped. I got in some serious trouble. It's no one listening, but I think watch Food Network. You will pick up a lot of cool stuff. That's probably true, actually. I don't have cable though, so if you have cable,
I have YouTube.
There you go. Same thing.
Yeah.
Better, yeah. No, I got in trouble, like not legal trouble. Somebody actually told me that I was so sexist that I didn't deserve any woman in my life. This guy's like, you don't deserve to have your mom love you or your girlfriend, or if you have a daughter, your daughter shouldn't love you either because you're a horrible guy. And this guy, I was friends with him for actually a pretty long time. And I felt so fucking bad. I didn't get angry. I just walked away and I started crying and shit. And it rocked me to my fucking heart to the point where I changed who I am as a person. Like if you look, I post some shit, but not as much as I used to.
But I miss that. I miss that sense of humor that you had. Here's the thing. Yeah, it was sexist. It was probably ill-timed. Especially the Ariana Grande Bomb one. Oh, that one, I was like, all right, it's too soon. And then I looked at my comment, and I was like, no, it's not too soon. This is what we need to do. We can't take everything so seriously. If we can't laugh about it, then what the hell are we doing? If you can't laugh at your own situation, laugh at yourself. What are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
You have to have a sense of humor about these things. So after I wrote, I think I wrote it. I'm not sure if I posted it.
Yeah, you would always stand up for me, and I appreciated it. But then what he really got to me was like, children died in that. I was like, fuck, you're right. Yes. I'm in private groups. I post shit all the time on those. So I'd still do it, but there's no way I could ever go back to what I was and I didn't do it for this guy because I'm not friends with him on Facebook. He doesn't know who I am anymore. He doesn't see me. He ended up apologizing to me the next day. He said I was really fucking embarrassed. And he goes, I don't even actually remember most of what I said. He's like, I was so fucked up.
What?
He was walking home with a pizza and it was flopping on his arm because of how thawed out it was. It was so thawed out from being frozen. It was the middle of summer. I don't know, it was like May or some shit. It was all thawed out and it soaked through the cardboard. It was flopping. It was like a fucking rug. But it was embarrassing. And then he screamed at me on Main Street and like it was just us and he got to me and I changed because I wanted to. I didn't do it because of him, because I'm not appeasing him. He's not listening right now. He doesn't know who I am. He hasn't talked to me since that happened. He just apologized and like I've run into him since then. He always like comes up to me and just kind of like says, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, we act like it didn't happen. Yeah. And I'm fine with it. But Jesus, dude, it really like shook who I am as a person, and I'm glad it happened because it's like you can't be fucking 27 and talk and saying it's funny that kids died. At some fucking point, I'm gonna have to grow up. I said on my last podcast, I said, I'm starting to think in terms of if I have a daughter, what the fuck is she gonna do when she looks back on this shit and sees what I was talking about? And then I topped it off by saying, I said, I've got to have such a hard hawk eye on her when she's dating other guys. And I reverted back to him like, yeah. The only guy you're going to be fucking around here is me.
You didn't say that right.
I did. Yeah. I said, you're only going to fuck me. And he goes, I'm like, yep, incest is the best. But obviously I'm fucking joking.
Yeah.
But I genuinely was like, okay, I need to grow up because I do want kids eventually. I want to at least 2, 3.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's a small number.
No, I don't care what they are either. All girls, all guys. I don't care. Mix them up. I hope I get at least one of each. That's my goal. And if Hannah doesn't give it to me, well, gotta start looking around again. Do you? I've got one last thing on here, but it's a silly thing. Do you have anything that you personally want to talk about? Did you? You don't have to, but I was just saying, like, if you brought any topics or talking points, or.
I really didn't. I wasn't sure what you were gonna ask. You know, for the longest time, I was like, you know, what if he asks me to say something about myself? Like, all right, tell me about yourself, Gabby. And I was like, God, I hope he doesn't ask that question because I don't fucking know. If he would have asked me, like, when I was in college, I would have been like, well, you know, I'm Gabby, and I'm an English major, and I think I can break dance. You know, that would have been my answer. Now I
can you?
No.
Oh, fuck you! I thought I was like, can you really?
When I was married, my ex-husband was a breakdancer.
You were married?
You didn't know that?
Fuck no.
Oh. Yeah, you just break the fourth wall right there.
I always do. Sometimes I do look into the camera. I'm like,
what was that? Look at that.
Jesus.
Yeah,
okay.
I was married when I was 18 years old.
Oh my God. I gotta ask you this quick. I might have been. Did you have your quinceañera? Did you have one of those?
Yeah.
Did you have that at Matt Koenig's house? I was there. I was fucking there. Because I remember being there for a quinceañera, and I'm like,
so he wasn't.
What's that? And I was just there.
It wasn't in his house, but we had like rehearsals, and I was always over at his house and his parents' house and everything. And he was in my quinceañera, him and his cousin Andrew Hunter.
I know all of them. Yep.
So were you there? Were you at my quinceañera?
Maybe not the actual one.
It was at the Cow Palace at the big
party. Okay, no, not that one.
And we
but
had
I remember seeing
you.
I remember seeing you, and you were. I think you might have been in a white dress.
Green.
No? Okay, then maybe it
might have been somebody else's, but I was very active in the whole quinceañera community at that point.
I don't think they had any other Mexican. But no, I do remember being at their house and seeing somebody going through that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've always wondered if that was you or not. I never asked.
And I think I might have been their only Mexican.
It wasn't. It wasn't because I didn't want to ask. It's just because I always forgot. Yeah. I don't ever believe in not asking somebody a question.
Yeah.
There's certain times when it's not appropriate, but it's like I'll fucking ask anybody anything.
So were you friends with Matt?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
And Matt was friends with everybody. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'll meet people 10 years down the line and be like, yeah, I knew Matt. Like, hello.
Yeah. I met him and Josh and Mary were at my school for a year. I had school. I was in Josh's class, and then I started talking to him. God, we clicked like that. And then I went over to their house all the fucking time to play video games when they lived on Gaslight and in North Fond du Lac.
I lived 2 houses down from where they lived. I saw their house go on fire, but I didn't know it was him at the point.
Yeah.
At that point in time. Yeah. It was 2 years later when we worked at McDonald's together. He's like, oh yeah, I live in North Fond du Lac. I'm like, where? He's like, yeah, blah, 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 Gaslight. I'm like, what? Your house light up on fire? He's like, yeah. I remember seeing these little blonde kids outside of the house watching their house up in flames, but I had no idea it was them at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing happened to me when we first met. We just clicked. And Matt was just one of the best, most genuine people that I had ever met.
Sadly, though, when my class, he was in the class below me at my school, my private school I went to, and nobody liked him. No one fucking liked him.
No one understood him.
Yeah, at that fucking school. And then we accepted Josh, and I was like, actually, no, my class didn't, but me and my friends, we fucking hung out with Josh all the time. We went to his place all the time, and we went over there, and I'm like, dude, Matt, if you ever are fucking like, if the class give you shit, you come hang out with us. Don't give a shit if we're 1 year older. Like, because it was viewed that if you were hanging out with kids younger than you, even one class, it's like, oh, you're weird.
Why is that? Why did high school do that to us? Or middle school, whatever it was.
Because we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We were like 5, 6, or 10 or whatever. But, yeah, I remember that. And I remember how when I found out that he went to Fondy instead, I was like, Thank you, Jesus.
Did you go to WLA?
I did, but it was like.
I was a Springer.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were from Fondue.
No. I went to North Fondue for like 1 semester, but I was a Springer. I graduated from Springer.
Matt went to Fondue though, like regular Fondue, like high school. I was like, thank God, because it doesn't matter who you are. That school is tough. Like, there's street kids there, but you will find friends. You will. There's so many people. It's hard not to, unless you actively choose not to.
I almost wish I would have gone to Fondue because everyone seems to have had a better time there. Springs, I was a scholarship case, so everyone kind of treated me like it, you know? Oh. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't going to go to that school without a scholarship. It was like,
it was more expensive than, WLA was $4. Springs is the tippy top of the paid education. Do you still talk to anybody from your high school?
Not really. I have a couple of them on Facebook, and we were friends from we grew up since first grade in that Faces, system.
Yeah, I know Facebook.
So we kind of grew up together. So we're kind of Facebook and Instagram friends and everything. Yeah. But I don't really keep in contact with pretty much anybody. Even my people who I consider my closest friends, I still don't see them. On a weekly or monthly basis. Even I'm busy. I work a lot. Sometimes I'm not even in the state. I mean, it's hard to keep up with friendships when you're older. I see them on Facebook and I'm happy for them. They seem to have good lives. There are some who I knew were stuck up and who have stayed stuck up. A lot of Springers had that stereotype, and it was very much true. These people did not treat you like an equal. They treated you like somebody who was there to diversify the school. I remember they asked me to be in one of their posters for Springs, and I was like, why? Because I'm brown? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, no, not doing that.
That's ballsy that you said that, but that's even more ballsy of them to just admit straight up.
Yeah. I mean,
we're using you.
Yeah, and that's
fucking problem with it. Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I get their whole agenda, and everything. And it was a really great school, and I recommend anybody to go there. I'm trying to get Cedric in there, but it's expensive. It's almost like going to college. You're paying that much per semester.
And then you got to go to college.
Yeah, and then you got to go to college.
And then that's even like $500 a class, or depending on where you go. That's how cheap it was for me.
Yeah.
I was in Marine Park, so.
I recommend everybody to go to Marine Park. I went to Marion. Thankfully, on a full scholarship, half of it was because I went to Springs, and the other half was academic based. But I wouldn't recommend going there without it. It's too expensive.
Oh no, shit! Yeah, it's really bad. And you can tell when someone goes to Marion versus someone who went to UW Fondue versus someone who went to Marine Park.
You really can, can't you?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of weird about Fond du Lac.
Hey, you said there's a spring stereotype. It exists for a fucking reason.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Hey, and sadly, we have the tendency to let the one of the apples spoil the barrel, and it's like you should still get to know somebody on case-to-case basis. But what I was saying, I'm just happy Matt got a good group of friends where he went, because WLA would not have accepted him. Sadly. As far as I went to a school of 20 kids in my grade school, and then 100 kids in my class. I talked to 0 of them, and not by choice. When I left, I hated everybody. But growing up, I was like, it was me. I was a dick. I acted like I was a victim, like I was
you were minority.
Against everybody. I thought I was a minority because I was like,
being a weirdo is.
I was weird. I was fucking weird. They did not accept nerds at that time, and they let me know it.
Doesn't that piss you off how much people glorify nerds?
It happened right after I got out.
Like, oh my god, I'm such a nerd. And then you look at them, you're like, when I told you I liked Harry Potter, you literally almost beat me up. But now you like it? Like, really?
Bitch, you're a nerd because you read Harry Potter. I'm not saying this to you, by the way. It's I'm like, bitch, you think you're a fucking nerd because you like Harry Potter? I've lost entire summers to a video game. You stupid cow. How dare you think you're a nerd? Do you know every line from Star Wars? Oh, you've never seen Star Wars? Get the fuck out, dude. No way. No fucking way.
Everything's maybe it's just because it's sexualized. Have you ever seen a woman go as a sexy, or go as sexy Chewbacca for Halloween? And it's just like, why? Or like sexy Hermione, sexy Harry Potter, and you're
That'd
just
be
like,
awesome.
what the fuck? Yeah, it would be. Snap out of your guy thing. It would be. But at the same time,
grab her by
kind
the
of
wand.
Sorry. If she has a wand.
Oh, whoops, I fucked up.
Second almost homophobic thing you said today. Anyways.
Transphobic. That's a thing now.
Oh, that
Transphobic, yep.
Oh, I don't know if I want to touch that.
Trans wizard phobic.
I like that one.
No, I'm just making shit up. Like
but doesn't it almost like annoy you when these people almost glorify that? And you grew up and you kind of come into this community online where everyone's like, you're nerdy and you're passionate about something. Come on in, like you're accepted here. But growing up in high school was not that way. I literally had a book in front of me walking down the hallways, and I had this skill, I called it, of just being able to read and going down and not really caring about who's sleeping with who, or who's got the latest what the fuck ever, who's got the nicest car. I never and still don't care. But everyone did, and it made me feel like I was an outsider. And then you grow up, and you get to like college, and everyone's like, oh, you're a nerd? Well, that's actually kind of cool. And you're accepted. And you're almost pissed off that those people in high school who ostracized you for it are now like, oh, yeah, I'm a nerd too, guys. Like, I like Harry Potter. Just like, you've seen the movies.
It's like, remember the time you shoved me into a locker so hard that you cut my thumb? And then I had to tell the school nurse, and they didn't believe me because they said, well, those boys would never do that.
Yeah, especially in the schools we went to.
Yeah.
They were protected if they had a big pocketbook. Yep.
And then I remember that happened to me, so I started taking it in my own hands. I started fighting with people, and then I got detention.
Of course you did, because you were the instigator, right?
Oh, fuck it. Well, oh, yeah. If I got shoved, I'd turn around and start throwing fists, and it was always me. It was always me getting in trouble, and and all these other fucking kids. They never once saw the inside of a detention classroom. Fuck them. But like I was saying, growing up, I had realizing it's like maybe I could have been a little nicer. I don't like talking about, but my only New Year's resolution: be less angry. That's it. But growing up, I was like, well, hey man, I mean, I shouldn't wait till the new year to do that shit. I've done that, months ago. Star Wars. And FDL, because they got the coolest drugs. Coolest drugs.
True.
Girl,
Springs had the more expensive drugs. That is really the only difference between the schools and Fondle.
You want some fucking drugs in North Fondy, that's fine. But you want the real shit, hit up the hill.
Yes. How many times have I heard that?
WLA never had anything going on. Oh, every girl is like, this is from Family Guy, but it's like, hey, I just drank a beer. Who wants to see my pussy?
Yep.
Sorry, that's too graphic, but it's like, I've fucking heard it. It's just.
Let's be real. No strangers are watching this, though. So that's right.
I got a ha-ha react from something, so thanks for that. I every now and then I'll run into people from my class, and I have this thing where I'll try to take a fucking selfie with them, and I'll try to at least give them 20 minutes. I'll talk with them for 20 minutes. I hope he's not watching.
Bless your heart.
I try. Jesus. I fucking try, and it's not because it's not because I feel like I should or need to, because I know it's awkward if I don't say anything. I want to. I do want to reconnect with them. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see if you have kids. I want to see if you're married. What's going on with you? I genuinely care, because we went through shit together. We went through really bad times together, but we had great times at school, but we went through some shit. I won't get too into it, but we had some bad shit happen to us. Sometimes, someone didn't make it through a year, sadly. And we went through that. And we were 90 kids, 100 kids, and we felt it when somebody was gone. And I feel like that gives you an obligation to at least give the least amount of effort to at least remain connected. Mm-hmm. At least try. Even if it's just Facebook.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. I ran into 2 girls the other day at the bars, and I waved at them, and then when I walked over to them, I saw them kind of look around and then leave. Fine. That's fine. I'm not angry about that. I get it. I haven't seen you in 10 years. My 10 years next year. So well, you're right behind me. It's like
God,
8 or 9 for you. So you're like a year or two younger than me, I think, right?
How old are you now? 27?
I'm gonna be 28 this year, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're Sean's age. I'm just 3 years younger than him.
Oh, Sean is my age.
Yeah,
okay, I always thought he was like everybody's younger than me. I just accepted that. I hate people my age. They're either married or they're boring. I fucking hate married, boring people. I'm super.
Or both.
No.
Yeah.
They're boring because they're married, or they're married because they're boring.
It's really depressing when it's someone who was really fun before and then they got married.
Oh, because then you know it's the other person that changed them.
That's always sad for men. Men tend to get like fat and boring when they're married. Oh. That's mean, isn't it? It's
no, it's correct and honest. It's like, holy shit. That makes you just realize that women hate women also. I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, I cannot tell you how many. Yeah, bitches, man.
You know, I've always said that women really don't like me, and it turns out that it's not that women don't like me. It's that I don't like them enough to make any kind of effort. I don't care who's sleeping with you. I don't care about soap operas and whatever else they've got going on in their lives. Unless they can give me a genuine conversation, I actually don't feel like I care about anybody. You know, my little brother tells me about these like video things and photography things, and he tells me about what's going on in his life. And I'm really interested in it, and I keep the conversation going, you know. And or my sister will start talking to me about, you know, whatever's going on in her life and pertaining to like her business, her career, and how things are going in California. I'm interested in that. And then a friend will start talking to me about, did you hear that so-and-so is sleeping with so-and-so behind their back? And I'm just like, all right, cool. Moving on. And I don't care.
You're snapping to be like, bitch, how's that help me?
Right?
What made you think I want to know that?
I usually just try to ask them a question about something that might interest me in their life, about whatever else is going on. But they don't usually they don't usually tend to go into those conversations. They just want to talk about their latest thing that they're sad about. And I like people who talk about their passions, whether it's video games or artwork or books or hell, even movies I'll listen to. But if you don't have something you're passionate about, I just feel like I can't validate you as a human being because you have nothing interesting to say.
Damn.
That's deep.
That's hard.
That deserves like some snappage or something. That's exactly why I don't like people and why people tend to not like me. I just don't really care about
that's heavy and hard, but that's how you know it's real and true. Now, would you say that you need girl time? I'm not talking about
No, like you're talking about spa nights and sleepovers and stuff like that.
Very least, you hit up Starbucks with your best girl. You sit down and you just go. It just seems so fake and transparent. Because if I ever go to Starbucks, I don't fucking like coffee, so I'm already a fraud. I'm sitting in there drinking hot chocolate.
You drink this toxic waste, but you don't.
Oh
like coffee?
Hell yeah! This is toxic radiated goo. I love it.
Glowing at this point.
It's.
We don't like coffee.
Oh God, no.
All right.
It tastes like garbage.
You're drinking the wrong coffee.
No,
here.
Sorry.
You're drinking Starbucks. That's probably why.
I've never drank Starbucks. I'm drinking hot chocolate at Starbucks.
Oh,
that shit's awesome.
Yeah.
But if I'm sitting there, like, let's say if me and Hannah I know she loves Starbucks. So every now and then I'll be like, let's just go to Starbucks. You just sit, relax, listen to some shitty indie music, and just look at each other and watch each other get fatter. And well, can you tell we love each other?
Yeah.
We'll go and we'll just hear these fucking girls just like, oh my God, like I love your nails. I love this. I love your ring. I love your yoga pants. I love how it just makes your curve your ass look so nice. Can we be lesbians?
It's like borderline lesbian behavior. That's how girl friendships are. Is borderline lesbian behavior nowadays.
Is there ever a part of you that misses not that part, but like, don't you miss like having like girl shit? Like,
I don't think I've ever really been a girl. Really, I mean that. I only get my nails done because I'm breastfeeding my son, and not to get too into it, but it makes the nutrients in your body kind of deplete. So your hair gets icky and your nails kind of tend to break a lot. Okay. So I have to get my nails done in order to polish them and make sure that they stay sturdy so they don't actually physically break and make my fingers bleed.
Jesus Christ.
That is the only reason I get my nails done. I'm not the type to get different colors on my nails. I don't care enough. The last time I got my hair done, I got a cost cutter's haircut for $15 for layers. I don't care. I love crosscutters. It's fucking cheap.
Yeah.
I don't care enough. I don't really like shopping unless I need something. But I'll be like, I'm actually the last hoodie I had was bought 2 years ago, and you can see like the little sweater, like little fuzzies on it, and I can't make it look new, so I'm like, all right, I gotta go get another sweatshirt and I'll go to Kohl's and get something for like $10. I just don't care enough to do that stuff. So my girl time, I love Sean so much. He is my girl time. If we're gonna talk shit about people, we're gonna talk shit about people together. And if we're gonna go to Starbucks, we're gonna go together because we're best friends in the whole world, and that is my like chill time. And he's the person who I feel most relaxed with, who I can be like, did you ever hear what this guy said? Or, this so-and-so is going on, this is going on at work. And he'll gossip to me about his work. He's the only person who I can hear gossip from and not, like, physically puke. Because otherwise, it's just like, I don't care enough to listen to you, And there are some people who will tell me about problems going on in their life, and I'll actually listen because I respect them as human beings. But I also have friends who, their entire life is a big drama, and they never have new issues. It's always the same thing. They don't have enough money. They are breaking up with their baby daddy for the 15th time that year. And they're like talking about how much they hate their kid, and my little piece of shit kid can't even walk yet. I'm just like, I love my kids. I can't relate to you. If you can't relate to somebody, you can't talk to them.
I can't relate to you. Fuck off.
Exactly. That is my chill time. It's just chilling with Sean.
That's really cute. I hope he was listening to that, man, because that's really neat to hear that, and that seemed very genuine.
Yeah.
You get a lot of people that talk about their significant other, and like sometimes you can tell when it's not real, and that's very real. That's not like some soulmate shit.
Today is actually our 2-year anniversary.
God damn it, Sean, don't say sup. Your girl was just telling you how much I think you just love rapping, so there you go.
Aw, there you go.
Good. Oh, I'm sorry, what were you saying now? It's an anniversary?
Yeah, it's our 2-year anniversary.
Today?
Doesn't that feel weird that it's only 2 years?
What the hell are you doing here?
We're having a date thing tonight. We'll be
good.
fine.
I was going to say, Jesus Christ. You should be showering each other with gifts and sex.
Again, tonight.
Oh, the best, I say the best, like, celebration of something is just like
time.
But like celebrating something to me, like the best thing that me and Hannah have ever done was just like, I think we just stayed in, but we didn't have anything else going. We didn't have TV or anything going. We just kind of like sat and we're just like, this is us. And I love you, and this is how it is, and then she's like, yeah, this is it. So, okay, we turned TV on or some shit, and that was us. We just sat with each other and just held hands, and like that was fine to me. But like, yeah, I take her out all the fucking time, and I'll get you get whatever you want. Get the large fry today.
Do you ever just see you guys don't have kids?
So much sex.
And you guys don't have kids yet, so maybe you haven't experienced this quite yet, but do you ever feel like there's just never enough time to be with them? And I feel like because we have kids and we have, full-time jobs and everything else going on, we appreciate those fucking 5 minutes in our car between when I get done with work, I go home, he goes home, we meet up for 5 minutes, we usually change real quick into sweatpants and comfy clothes. We go pick up our kids, and we're in the car for those 5-minute car rides where we catch up with each other, and we're like, whatever happened during the day, and we're just talking. And I look over, I'm just like, I really just miss talking. I miss having those moments where you can just talk about what the fuck ever. I love being bored.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but do you ever do that and you like feel your eyes well up with tears while you're looking at him, and you realize like this is it, like you do realize it like right in front of them. And you change, like you and then you can't imagine like what it would be like without them.
I literally can't.
I have that with Hannah. I know it. I know the feeling. Yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I was like, does somebody else feel that? Am I just such a pussy? I'm just saying it. But... I said it twice on my other one, so I'm 2 for 2. So we'll be okay. She's stuck with me. Oh, that's very cute. Normally I'd be like, oh, it's too mushy, but you know what? That's fine. You guys got your anniversary. We'll let it slide today. If you were 1 day early or late on that, I'd be like, get the fuck out. But like, not.
Agreed.
No, I just be like, this is nice.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I like people who are in love. I like people who have good relationships. I don't know how many people in your life have good, solid relationships, but have you ever noticed most people don't? Most people in my life actually really have shitty relationships where they are constantly interrupting each other or constantly telling the other person, like, hey, don't tell that story. Like, hang on, let me tell it for you. Or, you know, they kind of try to have the power in the relationship. Mm-hmm. What is it that you feel like with Hannah, as far as like power? Do you think that's a thing?
Yeah. When I first started dating her, I wouldn't let her speak.
I really hope you're joking.
No. I mean, like, I would let her speak in public, but like, I was just so excited to have arm candy. Like, it would be like, hello, I'm Mitch, and this is what's on my arm right now. Yeah. Oh, dude, this is all honest, and she'll tell you this is all true. But as I grew up and saw her and like became more close to her, and the shit that we went through, the really bad times that drove us apart, and eventually the fact that we came back to each other multiple times, like twice. We had truly bad breakups. We never, I don't know if she ever lost like the feeling of it, but even when I was with other girls, I never stopped thinking of her, and it never ever, it was always her. It was always her, and it was never like, I could be with this other girl looking right at her, like, I don't fucking want anything to do with you. But I felt like I couldn't go back at the time. I'm like, I don't want anything to fucking do with you. And I'll be honest with you, this is kind of getting off topic, but last night I came home, I stayed out, I came home, I was not drunk, I had like 2 beers, just enough to loosen up. I came home, I barely slept. It's because she wasn't there. I can't. I hated sleeping with people. I hate it. I can't. I've raised an only child. I can't fucking sleep with people. I can't. Yeah. But it's gotten to the point to where I love her so much that if she's not in bed with me, I can't sleep. Like every time I turn over and I reach for her and she's not there, or I wake up reaching for her and I like couldn't find her. And it's just like I slept maybe 20 minutes for like 4 hours.
I
for every 4 hours. So.
Almost hate that I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Sometimes I do have to travel without Sean, but
yeah,
the bed's too big, the room's too empty, everything's wrong, the temperature's wrong. I can't like everything is just wrong.
Toss and turn all fucking night.
Yeah, and then you think about what it's like to actually sleep when they're in the room with you. I mean, it's just exactly what you mean. But that's awesome. I'm so happy you have someone like that.
Thank you.
I appreciate people in good relationships. And it's crazy how many people who are just like married fucking 20 years and they hate each other.
And it's still like that.
And it's uncomfortable to be in the same room with them because you can tell they hate each other, And I really appreciate the friendships that we have where they have solid relationships and they talk positively about each other and they're always talking their partner up and talking about how great they are or jokingly talking about how awful they are, which is fine too.
Yeah. But it's like if you can't fucking do that, if you can't rip each other, then it's like, do you like each other?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That it has to be a friendship.
Can't be all like perfect.
Friendships are about kind of ripping on each other, kind of pointing out each other's flaws in like a funny way. And if you can't do that in a relationship, you're probably not really friends. And that's just the whole basis for a good relationship is being friends.
Yeah.
So I think that's so important that I love the friendships we have where you can be like, oh, who we know will be together forever, this couple or that couple. I just love that so much.
It's solidifying. You see that energy. And then you can take it. You don't even have to be in the same room as them. You don't have to see it on Facebook. Well, maybe you do. That's where like the basis of it is. You see like a picture or a status, and then you're like, well, look at this.
Or you don't see the bad stuff.
Yeah. The dirty laundry doesn't get hung out to dry in public, and you see the good stuff or the lack of bad stuff, and you say, this is real. And it's out there. This is real fucking life. And that's also available to me if I try and look for it. And God, thank Christ, do you ever, God forbid, think about what it would be like to be single again? Like not the sadness, not the sadness of losing Sean. Like obviously that'd be fucking horrible. Don't think about that. Think that if you had to be single in this day and age, what a goddamn nightmare that would be.
What a fucking mess. I actually have I have one colleague
yeah.
who is not watching either.
Yeah.
I have one colleague who is single, and he's just the women he goes out with are just women that I would never consider to have friendships with, because they are the overly make-upped, overly glamorized women who have trust funds, and they're just like, I'm on my daddy's boat this weekend, and they're those types of people.
White girls.
Yes, they are. They are. But I mean, he's got Tinder and all these other social media websites to get dates, and the dates he goes on are just such bullshit that I really genuinely feel bad for anybody who's single in this day and age. If they're looking, if they're not looking and they're in the whole independence kind of part of their life, I sometimes envy that, but I almost wish that I could just be independent for a day with Sean, because I can't imagine going off to Aruba or something or having a big adventure without him, because we have that kind of relationship. But I mean, I kind of sometimes envy the people who are just like, my friend's going to France tomorrow, and he wanted to know if I wanted to go, or she wanted to know if I wanted to go with her, because it's a big trip that everyone's going to, and I have a couple $100 in the bank. I'm just gonna fucking go. And I'm like, dude, you can go. When Jenny wanted to go to California, I was like, you have no commitments here. You have no relationships here that, like a boyfriend or whatever, girlfriend, whatever, or kids. Like, go live your life. Have that fun. I have kids. I can't really do that. So that part, sometimes it kind of hits me a little bit. But at the same time, my kids are going to be 18 when I'm like 35. So that's kind of awesome, because when I'm 35 years old, I'm not even going to be that old. And I'm sure Sean and I can go to Aruba at that point.
Yeah, they'll stay home and babysit each other.
Yeah.
And the house won't be in a sty when you come back. Maybe
like party. I'd be kind of disappointed if my kids didn't party when I'm gone. Party? Yeah, I mean, because then they'd be really lame kids. We know that.
Yeah, you come home and like, you come home and like the whole place is just spotless, and you're like, I guess we have a loser kid. And then you find the one crumpled up beer can that they missed, and you like put your arm around each other and take pictures of it, and like they did do something, and like
I'd be so proud.
It's some out of a movie. It's like you find the one thing they missed, and it was like Project X. Have you seen that movie?
I have.
Fucking
shit.
Embarrassingly enough, I saw it 4 times in the theater.
It's so good.
And then I bought it like the day it came out. Yeah, it is. So it was. Because I was 22 when it came out, so I was like the perfect age. And that theater was packed with everybody from 18 to 25. Everybody could relate to it. Everybody was laughing at the right parts, or when, at just the right time. Like there was no clash of anything. You getting more stuff? Our kids are fucking nerds.
I'm coming up on being single for 5 years now. Oh, that's Seth Castro. I thought that was Sean.
Oh, Seth?
It's not terrible, but it's not the greatest. Our kids are fucking nerds. I hope not.
Hey, Seth, I mean, it depends on what you want. I mean, like, I know a lot of people who just want to fuck around and hook up, and they're really happy. Like, that's a good time for this.
Yeah.
But if you want to find a suitable, like, lifetime mate, 1, stop looking at fucking bars. 2, go, you know what? Go to a bank and
go to a library.
Oh, shit.
I always thought I would meet my soulmate at a library. Sorry.
Get you a water, right?
I always thought I would meet my soulmate at a library because I love it so much. Yeah. I would recommend that to be a great place to start. Or, go to like a coffee shop or...
Yeah, coffee shop, yeah. I was going to say, a library...
That's like a movie in the making right there.
If a library, they don't want to be disturbed.
Well, sometimes. I mean, you can always come up to a gal and be like,
some chick's reading, like, she's like got the book propped up so it looks intelligent. It's like, Sounds like a real man. or like a good man is hard to find or some shit like that.
One of those books, yeah. Self-help books. Okay, stay away from the self-help aisle. I take that back. Do not go to the library self-help aisle at all.
No, that means she's vulnerable and she needs you to straighten her out.
If that
she wants you to choke her and she wants to call you daddy. Sorry.
If that is what you were looking for in life, Seth, then yes.
No, don't actually do that. What's he saying?
I met Gabby when she was on a date with my friend. Sean, we don't talk about that.
I met
Gabby when she was on a date with my friend.
Holy shit!
Well, that's a story for a different day. I was. Well, it wasn't really a date. We were just kind of hanging out at the bar.
Sure.
And that date wasn't really going that well. It was just kind of like the first time I was out after having Cedric. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll have maybe a couple drinks. And Sean came by, and instead of talking to me, Sean did the respectable thing. And he's like, hi. And he noticed I was with his friends. And he's like, I can't talk to this girl. Yeah. So he kept walking. So
I think I remember, like, before you guys were together. I think, because I think I met Sean before you guys were together. I met you years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I don't remember that, actually. I think you were Jenny's friend.
I was.
Yeah.
And then I met you through her.
Everyone was.
Yeah, that's true. Did she ever work at McDonald's?
She did.
Okay.
Wait, did you?
I did, but at East Johnson.
Okay. I was West Johnson when I was like 14.
Do remember, I think I might have been you when I was, no, you were only 14 then?
Mm-hmm.
How many years?
Like 2 years at McDonald's.
When I was like 16 or 17, I went in there and I was having a really bad chocolate craving. I don't know why. So I got a chocolate shake, a brownie bite, or a brownie melt, and they don't even have those anymore. And there's one more thing. I think it might have been chocolate pie or some shit. It might have been a cinnamon. There's a lot of chocolate, and then maybe cookies or some shit. And I had like 3 of the coworkers who were my age kind of like, you have fucking period? And I think it might have been you. Because we were joking around.
If you were like on some kind of drugs or something?
I think I wasn't. I was just had a bad chocolate craving, and I'm just like, I need some fucking chocolate. And I was with my buddy Dave, who, thank Christ, he's married, but him and his wife are super fun and exciting, and I love hanging out with them. I haven't known them in a long time, but couple weeks. We were hanging out with them at New Year's.
Oh, see, that's a long time for you. A long time for me is like months. It's been months since.
Well, I mean, you have children. You have
they do life. Too. So we really have no excuses as to why we don't hang out. But that's the worst.
You have a home and a life. I got no fucking kids. We can jet set whatever we want. We don't have anything going on. We have a home together finally, and that's it. What's this? I worked at the one by high school.
That's the
that's the one I worked at. I worked there from 2009.
Oh, sorry.
I worked there from 2009 to 2013, and I remember I quit by walking in 10 minutes late for a shift and handed them my clothes. I'm like, hey, I'm done, dude. Sorry, bye.
I actually had to ask my manager how to quit a job because I was like, I'm working at Best Buy now, so I don't need this job anymore. How do I put in my 2-week notice? And she goes, well, and she printed out receipt paper because you remember you could write on that shit. Yeah. She goes, if you just want to write, this is my 2-week notice and sign and date it, that'll work. And I was like, okay. And I handed it to her, and she's like, and I'm like, so am I done now? Did I quit? She goes, yeah, you just quit. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I left. I was pretty blonde at that point.
That's okay.
But that was my quitting. That was my big dramatic, leaving. And I really wish it would have been a lot worse than that. Because some people have some really good stories about how they quit.
Yeah.
And I envy those people because that place was just full of bullshit. It really was.
McDonald's?
They had their MIC laws about how you work and what hours you can work and all that crap.
A lot of people talk shit about Walmart, McDonald's. But
it was fun.
There's a no, I was. I had a great time. There's a reason it's the biggest fucking place in the world, the biggest company. Mm-hmm. They know what they're doing. They're doing something right. They're the biggest conglomerate thing ever. They're bigger than Trump. Mm-hmm. They're the biggest thing in the world. There's a movie out called The Founder. It's really good. It's about the start of McDonald's, and it's a fictional one, like it's based on real events, but it's got actors. It's not like a documentary or anything. Okay. It's so cool how they came up with the idea. they went to a tennis court and they drew up the design for the kitchen, and they would just like take a hose and wash it down, and then they would go on the other side of the tennis court and draw it again. Like, well, this is in the way of the fry-later, and this is the shake machine, but the shake machine's traffic is going to get in the way of the fry-later. Just wash it off, and then they would go to the other side that's dry now and redo it. And they showed them how they were wrapping the sandwiches in the 50s. It's still the same way today.
Oh, that's fun.
It's really neat to see. So it's like, if you've ever worked there, I feel like everybody's worked there should take a look at it and be like, this is really how it all got started. I think it's kind of neat. Is Seth, so Seth and Sean, or
Seth Sean has like the greatest smile I've ever seen. Mark is 25% of Omni's GP right now.
I fucking love Walmart. I go there every day. I buy shit there from there all the time.
I hate how much I love Walmart. It's the best. It's the best in the world.
Why do you hate how much you love it?
Because
it's a demon.
you know, you can kind of tell like how your life is going by how you dress when you go to Walmart. Just last night.
It's funny.
And we would have got a Walmart. We ended up going to pick the same instead, but I was wearing slippers. Oh. I was literally wearing slippers when we went into the grocery store. And I'm just like, you know.
And you were fine with it.
I'm fine with this. Yeah, like I'm cool, whatever. No one really fucking cares.
I had a girl once when I was like 20. The girl I was dating at the time, her friend was like, you know, Walmart's the kind of place you can just go as is. But if I go to Target, I'll put a bra on.
Yes. Yes.
Like, holy shit, that is honest.
And isn't that weird? Like, who decided this? Who is the person who told all of society, you gotta dress up for Walmart or for Target, but nobody fucking cares how you look in Walmart?
It is so scary how accurate that is.
But why?
It's because of Starbucks.
Yeah, that might be it. Maybe it's like a weakness.
Wait, it is Starbucks, right?
Starbucks is in Target. Yeah.
Okay, because I remember before they had a Starbucks, it was like just a food court.
Yeah, it was.
They had
and they still
pretzels,
have that.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Pretzels, popcorn, and ices.
Ices. My kid's obsessed with ices. He makes me drink it. He's like, Mama, you really like this. This is your favorite. And I'm just like, blue dog, blue dog, blue tea. I'm like, all right. Yeah, the thing is that you're more likely to run into more respectable people at Target than you are at Walmart. You're at Walmart, you run into fucking everybody, and everyone looks the same, and no one really fucking cares. You go to Target, you're meeting like the principal of your school. You might even run into your fucking boss, your neighbor who already hates you, and you gotta be nice. You know, I mean, come on. You're
like, hey, we gotta put the nice scarf on. Why? We're going to Target. Oh, okay. I get it now.
Change out of your pajamas. There's pretzel. Those pretzels are game changers. Also,
pretzels.
She wasn't fine about going in wearing slippers. I still did it. Come on.
I'm going in wearing slippers.
No.
You had to get your fucking shopping done, man.
Yeah.
Well, what time are we at here?
No idea.
Oh, we're over 2 hours. Holy shit.
Crap.
Okay. Before I wrap this up, I do want to talk about this game that I invented, and we don't have to, we're gonna play just a little bit. I invented a game.
All right.
And I'm really proud of it. It's not good, but I'm proud of it. And it is. I came up with it last week, and I thought the only downside is you have to do a lot of research on the internet, and you have to compile lists for yourself, and eventually you run out of ideas. And it's called Bar Name or Sex Move. Okay?
Oh my God.
Now, I don't have a list,
like that.
but I make, like, I've looked some of them up, and you have to, basically I just Googled funniest or most clever bar names, or funniest sex moves, or real gross sounding sex moves, whatever. Like, I'll say a name, and you say, is that a bar name, is the name of a bar, or a sex move?
Okay.
So, what do you think the throaty sailor would be?
The throaty, as in
the throaty sailor, yeah.
Okay, all right. If it's a sex move,
I don't have a list, by the way. Just it's all up here.
So I have to guess what the sex move would be.
No, you can either just say bar or sex move. It's like that's the name of bar.
It has to be a sex move.
It's a bar.
Shut up.
It's
Where?
a gay bar in San Francisco.
Of course, it's a gay bar in San Francisco. I should have guessed that.
All right.
That's a good
Okay. Okay. The Angry Dragon.
Oh, I know that is a sex move. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck. Never mind. I don't know that's a sex move. Maybe it's a sex move. Bitch.
It is.
I know.
It is. The angry pirate.
It's a sex move. It has to be a sex move.
It is. It is.
That's where you in the eye, right?
Yeah.
Or the other one was where you hold her head.
That's the flying marlin. No, the angry pirate's where you go in her eye and then you stomp on her foot and break her foot so she limps around.
Okay, that's just going too far, though.
Do you know what the candy cane is?
No, tell me.
You come on her face and then you break her nose, so it's blood and white.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Okay, right, here's one. Well, God, I gotta think of I'll do a couple really quick. You can check the comments.
Sex move. That is definitely okay. Don't trust hi Gabby.
Hi,
don't trust him, Gabby. This is definitely a game you would do. Sex move.
All right.
All right.
All right.
What do you got?
The mailbox.
Bar.
No.
Sex
no, sorry. No, I did. Sorry.
Okay. Gay bar in Florida.
Actually, which one did I just say?
Mailbox.
The mailbox
is
gay bar. Yeah.
Nice.
There's also the manhole. The toolbox.
Those are good ones.
The fat angel.
All right, sex move.
No, it's a bar.
Oh man.
See, this is the worst part. Like, you have to prep this game so far in advance. You have to like find all these funny bar names, write them down on one column. Find all these awesome sex moves, write them down on one column, and just kind of like alternate and shit.
I almost hate how many sex moves I know now. Because I've been working on so many dudes. All right, so I really love pearls. I'm wearing pearl earrings right now,
Jesus,
and it is my favorite thing in the world to just wear tiny pearl earrings because then you don't have to change them on a mom. They grab your earrings.
Sure.
You know? So last year, I was talking about how I really wanted a pearl necklace to go with my earrings. And it was just a stupid thing that I was kind of saying. And the guys are like, "Oh yeah, you look really nice with a pearl necklace." And I was like, I was thinking, you know what? I just got a genuine compliment from my colleagues.
Nope.
It's like, oh my god, that's so nice of you guys. And I go home and I tell John about how much I want a pearl necklace. And his face,
okay.
His face is like, okay. And, the next day I go back and my colleagues are like, oh, did you ever get that pearl necklace?
Oh my god, that's awesome.
I'm like, not yet. I really want to get one this weekend. I'm really excited to get a pearl necklace. I'm super whatever. You know what a pearl necklace is, right? I'm like, do you know what a pearl necklace is? Because it's a pearl fucking necklace. Sure enough, it's when they jizz on your chest. I had no idea. So there I am talking about how much I want someone to jizz on my chest, apparently.
All with your colleagues.
Yeah, with my colleagues.
Professional colleagues.
Yeah. They're the worst, though. The most professional people you know, I guarantee you, are the dirtiest.
Well, no shit.
Yeah.
Look at Trump. Full circle.
Yes. Full circle.
Well, remember when he yelled out, grab him by the pussy, and like there was a group of women that started defending that because what's locker room talk? It's like that is tame compared to what guys really say. You don't ever want to hear what guys really say, and like, dude, it's not good. And I'm like, you know what? Girls probably talk way worse. The worst girls, the most disgusting people I know. Young college women, because they're like 21, 22. They're living both sides. They're living in the girls area, but they're hanging out with dudes. So they're taking all the bro shit from dudes. Dudes don't give a fuck what they say when they're 21, 22. They'll throw the dirtiest shit at you just to shock you and be like, oh, you're
such a man. They love the shock factor.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Shock factor when they see that look on your face. You're just like, oh my god.
Well, because it's like, it's got to be something to do with like some animal thing where it's like, well, this guy is very open around me, so that's like a show of confidence, some shit. I don't know.
Peacocking or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. But and then you got the girls living over here who are like 21, 22, and they're fucking. Well, girls start developing way younger, but it's like it's both sides. Their hormones are fucking raging. So girls are, dude. college chicks, like 21, 22, are just as fucking gross, if not grosser, than dudes.
Oh,
like when it comes to
talking
like that, yeah. It's fucking like this. I've heard some shit that makes me blush. It's like, oh, right. Yeah. Like I haven't heard that for like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
You can't like look at them while they're talking about it. It's like who's the real man in this fucking situation? So
yeah, it just kind of makes you uncomfortable.
Sorry. Yeah. No, it's something like it does, but
I've very much gotten used to that stuff just because I do work with some guys. And all of my friends, to be perfectly honest, all of my best friends are all men, just because, girls don't tend to like me. And I tend to just like guys more. They are more open. They are more free with whatever they think. And if you know people's true thoughts and raw thoughts, you're just more likely to respect them. And that's why most of my friends are men. But I've heard them talk about, certain sexual things. And then I hear some of these girls, like girlfriends of mine, talk about their sexual things. And it's just like you need to wash your mouth out with soap. Like, what are you saying to me right now? He did what to where?
So that kind of goes to the thought of, and this is going to open a huge can of worms, but like if we can just be quick about it because it's almost 2.5 hours. The whole thing of like boys will be boys kind of thing, like I don't believe in that, and I'm not talking about like it's fucking wrong to say that because it's like, well, he raped her because her ass cheeks were sticking out of her jeans. The boys will be boys. It's bullshit. It's not. She's not asking for it. What I'm saying is you should be able to control your emotions no matter what. And when you just said, it was different for how the guy said it. You just kind of like went, fuck boys, like roll your eyes. But when a girl says it, maybe something's not even that bad. You're like, young lady, wash your mouth out with soap. Like, it is different. It is different. And even women have that stigma towards other women.
But they're also worse. The things I've heard from men are nearly as bad as what I've heard from women.
It's true.
Like, they're talking about things that I just would never say. And
yeah.
Then, I mean,
you don't have to say it on here.
No, the dudes will usually say something like, oh, she's got a nice ass, or, she's got nice tits, or whatever. Mm-hmm. The girls will be talking about, his dick was this.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? Hang on. And she's like, oh, my God, he made me, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like, hang on, I don't want to know. I don't care. These are friends of mine.
The dick was so good, I forgot my own name.
Yes, they'll say things like that.
He fucked me so bad that I had to lay there for 20 minutes and I forgot to call my grandma. Or some shit like that.
Yeah. And they'll say the worst things that come to their head because they just don't have that much impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, it's not that bad. I mean, I guess it could be bad if it was a woman coming into males talking for the first time and they'd be like, oh, what are they saying? But getting used to it, they don't say things that are nearly as bad as what I've heard women say.
Jesus
so,
God.
Boys will be boys, but women will be women.
Yeah.
Women are worse. Yeah. As far as the whole rape thing.
Oh, I did not bring that up to mention. I brought that up just to kind of give an example.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I really only have one thing to say about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking as someone who's had some kind of past with that, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, it's shitty when a man decides to do something like that. But these women that put themselves in those situations, running around half naked, it's after a concert, it's 2 a.m. in the morning, and you're walking by yourself. What are you doing with your life? Why would you think that that's okay? Why are you putting yourself in these unsafe situations? And yes, there are stories of women who were in a crowded room not wearing anything slutty and they got raped, and yes, that's shitty. But as a general rule of thumb, don't put yourself in unsafe situations.
Sure.
And I feel like that's something that women are always like, you can't blame the victim. You can blame someone who puts himself in unsafe situations. You get in a car, don't put your seatbelt on, get in a car accident. Guess what I'm going to say? You should have had your seatbelt on. Maybe you wouldn't have gone flying to the dashboard.
Fair enough.
It is what it is.
And I feel like you saying that as a woman does bear a little more merit than, maybe even a lot more merit than somebody who hasn't gone through the situation, or a male even.
Because then they call it mansplaining.
Mansplaining?
Yes.
I've heard that, but I haven't really it pissed me. The term pisses me off to the point where I don't want to hear about it. I've said this in a lot of previous podcasts. yeah, we have something that we need to work on, but after a while, when you just have so much shit flying at you and you have to defend your point on everything, it's just fucking exhausting, and you just kind of sit there and fold, and you just go, okay, let me hear what I did wrong today.
Yep. God, I hate that.
But, you know, I think it's nice to hear, like, yourself, someone who said, like, you did have something happen. I don't know if that's what you were hinting at before, but it's nice to hear that, like, it's nice to imagine a world where you could walk around in whatever you want to wear and not have the fear of being violated. But that's not where we're at right now, and you need to respect the nature of this planet and realize that if you walk around with meat on you, the lion is gonna bite.
I mean, it's almost, you know, thinking that people would go against nature, and I know there's so much more to it than that. But you know, if you're this college girl and you're walking around, and, you know, around your dorm, and there's dudes everywhere, and you put yourself in an unsafe situation, what do you think is gonna happen, honey?
Dude, no, I agree with you though. Like, it's like guys are just these fucking hungry wolves, and any scent of like tiniest like a girl could just go like that, fucking like right, like 9 or 10 of them. Just my buddy said something the other night, like chasing does or something. Like, I don't know if you ever watch like a buck, like how a buck chases after a doe. There's a chase portion, and if like there's no other males in the area, or he's one against the other males, like when they like lock horns and shit, they'll chase each other, and then after a while, she'll be like, okay, he's worthy. And it's like, that's what he used to describe like all these fucking little girls running around. Like I said, last night, there's a couple of girls that didn't, it's like 7 degrees. They've got no jackets on. They got there's a girl in a tube top last night. A tube top and a fucking skirt. She's wearing just elastic bands around her, basically. And she's like falling over. She's always doing this and shit. And it's like, what are you fucking doing? Yeah. What are you? And she had like 2 or 3 guys with her. It's like, you know, all of those guys from up to like 5 in the morning just I'm gonna take care of you.
It's their animalistic nature. We are humans. At the very end of the day, we are all human. And it's in your nature to be like, oh, she's doing something to get my attention. And I'm going to go and see, you know, if she wants my attention. Yep. And obviously we want to raise our boys and we want to raise our daughters to understand that stuff's not okay and everything, and blah, blah, blah. You can do that all day. That's fine. But the reality of it is that not everybody is raised that way. And if you've got a daughter and she's going out and she's looking a certain way, people are going to go after her. And you've got to teach your daughters and sons to not behave in that certain way. Because at the end of the day, they've got to be careful.
Yeah, they have to be their own person. They have to realize that, like, this world's a fucking jungle. We're just living in a concrete one. Yeah. We're like, the DNA of humans is like 3% off of monkeys. Like, and that's been proven. So it's like I went through Christian school. I do believe in God, but there's nothing wrong with also believing that maybe we did come from monkeys. Maybe we did evolve from monkeys. Nothing wrong with that. I personally, I'd like to believe we were created separate, and maybe we were like like, you can be close. Our DNA matches up with trees. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. They said that we're from trees at some point. And it's like, that could very well be. I like to believe that maybe we were created separately, separate entity. But like, humans don't even exist up to a certain point. And then the rest of it is all just untouched earth with animals. They can carbon date humans back to like a certain existence, and then before that there's nothing of humans. So it's like at some point we had to come from something. But either way, I might need like way more wine to discuss that. But, yeah. I think this might be a good part to stop it at.
I think so.
How much time are we at?
Almost 3 hours. Why are they keeping it short?
Yeah, and there's not a lot I could edit it out except for like the first 3 minutes when we're setting up. But but yeah, I really hope you had a good time. Like, this is, I mean, it looks like you're having a good fucking time. That's fine. That's fine. I asked her, and she said absolutely give her anything she wants. She's gonna make brownies, but she never got around to it. So, yeah. But this is the conversations we had. I wasn't gonna be like, so what do you do? Tell everybody who you are and explain.
I was really hoping you
fuck
would.
no,
Yeah.
no. It was never gonna be like that. Like, this is how it is. It's like we have a basic outline, and then I stay on it as much as possible. And if I divert, sure, go ahead. I had no plan on talking about you and Sean for that amount of time, or me and Hannah, and I'm really, really happy we did it. So like when I look back on it, because I listen to these all the time, and I listen to it for mistakes. I listen to it for like maybe I need to shut up more, maybe I need to talk a little more during this part. I critique myself pretty hard on these, and if I don't, then it can't get better. So it's like I don't keep a strict outline to these things, and I like to keep it free flowing, open. And I didn't want to talk about politics that long, but I'm glad we did, and I'm really happy it went the direction it was. I have nothing bad to say about this one. Good. This is really good, and I had a really good time, and I hope you did too.
Yeah, me too. Explored a lot of weird topics.
Good. I hope. Did I offend you at all?
No, not at all.
All right, good.
I mean, I'm gonna unfriend you for being a Republican now.
Please don't. So, I'm a Republican, but I don't fucking support Trump, and I don't fucking you know what I'm saying.
I know. I'm kidding.
I just identify as that, but I hope I don't think anyone's watching. Oh, shit, we do have a couple people. I think this, honest to God, we won't know for a little bit while the video process, but I think this might be my highest rated one already. Not by no stretch of the imagination. This is the highest one, and I knew it was gonna be because you're a girl and you're
brown.
Brown, yes, the Mexican, Latina, whatever. You're I getting diversity points, but no, I promoted this one. I set it up farther in advance. A lot of the ones we just had with no notice, we just went live and expected people to just tune in. I'm figuring this thing out as I go, and I'm really appreciate you coming on here and doing this. You said months ago that you wanted to do this, and I kept my word. I'm like, you're gonna be the first true guest on my solo show. We're gonna have Travis on here every now and then, but he's pretty much letting me take over. So again, I'm really appreciative of you coming out here, and I really hope we can do this again sometime.
I definitely think so.
Awesome.
We should get Sean and
yes, Sean, BJ, you and Sean. If you guys want to do a couples thing, I'd be totally fine with that. Get in here. Yeah. I mean, I need more microphones, but actually I could put it between us and just turn up the gain. So we can be back way far, and it'll pick us up crystal clear. So
wine, sharing microphones, or live. I love it.
I think that'd be actually really fun because I haven't ever hung out with you and Sean as a couple. It'd be nice. As gay as that sounds.
Hey, we're old now. This is what we do. We hang out with
other couples. Yep. Yeah. Oh God, I swore I'd never become one of those couples. But there's nothing. I don't think. I think my priorities are starting to change. But everybody who's watching, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And I don't know when the next one will be. We might have one next week with another minority. A brown one.
Oh my Lord.
Maybe. Thanks. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.